Chicago Cubs are on the air. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to Major League Baseball from beautiful Wrigley Field in Chicago. I'm Vince Lloyd, and along with Lou Boudreau, we welcome you to our broadcast today. We have a special... Our broadcast today from Wrigley Field is brought to us by the G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country, the Association of Chicagoland McDonald's Restaurants, your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers. I hope you'll find out how the gallant men of Olds can make car buying a real pleasure for you. General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices, and to borrow up to $10,000, just pick up the phone and call friendly Bob Adams at Andover 32020. True Value Hardware Stores, not just a name. That's their way of doing business. True Value. Stop in at the True Value store nearest you. You'll find out what we mean. There's no change in the starting lineup for Danny Ozark in the Eastern Division leading Philadelphia Phillies today, with the exception of the catcher and the pitcher. But here's the way they are slated to come to the plate at Wrigley Field on this hot September day. Jake McBride to be leading off. He'll be in right field. Larry Boa at shortstop hitting second. Gary Maddox in center field. Maddox hitting third. And the bold Greg Luzinski in left field hitting cleanup. Richie Hebner at first base. Richie batting fifth. Mike Schmidt over at third base. Drove in 4 runs yesterday. Schmidt batting sixth. Bob Boone doing the catching, hitting seventh. And Ted Sizemore at second base, batting eighth, with Larry Christensen, the tall, young right-hander, who now is 11-12 for the year after winning his last 3 starts. And for the Cubs, Greg Gross to be leading off today against the right-hander. Gross in center field will be followed by Rodney Scott at second base. And Larry Bittner at first base, hitting third. Dave Kingman in left field, hitting cleanup. Bobby Mercer back in the starting lineup in right field. Mercer hitting fifth. Manny Trio at second base, batting sixth. Dave Rader, the catcher. Rader batting seventh. Ivan DeJesus today, hitting eighth. Ivan at shortstop. And Dennis Flatt, the pitcher. 6-13 for the year, and 0-3 against the Phillies this year. Let's take a moment for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
WGN Radio Chicago, 88 at Midway, 87 on the lakefront.
Our broadcast today authorized under rights granted by the Chicago National League Ball Club. Taking a look here at Rodney Scott doing some wind sprints going out. And the Chicago National League Ball Club, of course, has the right of approval of the announcers for this event. It still leaves the entertainment of you, our audience, and any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions that account for the game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. No official word yet on a fine that's going to be meted out to the Cub manager Herman Franks. He was just kicking yesterday on Doug Harvey, and that was a classic scene out here. But Herman did call the umpire, Mr. Harvey, and he apologized to him. And he's in a little more kinder mood today. And, of course, it'll be a much better mood if at the end of the proceedings at Wrigley Field this afternoon, the Cubs will wind up with a victory. The Phillies, with their win yesterday, needed it to stay on top in the Eastern Division because the Pittsburgh Pirates continue red hot. They had posted their 11th straight win, got a fine pitching performance from Don Robinson, the young rookie right-hander, who has now won 7 straight decisions, and Robinson now has run his record to 12-5 in this his rookie year. So the Pirates just a half game off the pace, and the Cubs now 6 games out, while Montreal, in a rain-shortened game last night, defeated the New York Mets 8-2, with Ross Grimsley, the left-hander, getting his 17th win of the year. So the Expos at this stage are just 2.5 games behind the Cubs in the Eastern Division, and will be at Montreal tomorrow night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. In the other races, the Dodgers, with their victory, Joe Ferguson driving in 4 runs to pace L.A. to the win yesterday afternoon over the Giants 9-2. The Dodgers 3 games in front, with Cincinnati idle yesterday, dropping 7.5 games off the pace. And in the American League, Boston Red Sox shutting out Baltimore. Louis Tiant throwing one for a 2-0 victory. And the Yankees stayed apace, and they are just 4 games out. And Don Kessinger here, and it's going to be Don Kessinger night Never thought I'd say this. Tom Keshner night at White Sox Park. Tomorrow night. Boy, you're looking great.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Dan. I'm just so thrilled. Words can't express the way I feel, honestly, and very, very much surprised. We played tonight down there, and I thought I'd stop by here today and say hello to some of my old friends and watch a few innings of the ball game.
But if you hadn't stopped by golly, we'd have been a little bit upset with you. You look just great. The Secretary of Defense, huh?
Well, I think whoever made that sign very original, and they certainly have gotten me a lot of publicity from it, and I appreciate it.
John, you're planning to be back next year?
Well, I think so. I want to sit down this homestand and talk to Mr. Beck, and we really haven't sat down and talked. At this stage of your career, I just kind of play it 1 year at a time and see what happens. But I think that there's a very good chance I'll play next year.
We miss you at Wrigley Field, I'll tell you that.
Well, thank you. I'll tell you, it's just a pleasure to be back playing in the city of Chicago. These fans are just unique here, and whether it's here or over there, and it's just a thrill playing in front of them.
When I say that we miss you here, I'm not saying anything derogatory about Ivan DeJesus, who's just done a super job. You've had a chance to see him.
Well, yeah, I think that your ball club was in pretty deep trouble without him this year from what I've seen. I think that he's just, he's been a very stable influence for you and played a great, consistent shortstop. And I'm just very much impressed with him.
Sorry that things fell apart on the south side this year for the White Sox. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding over there, isn't there?
Well, I think there will. I think it could be a very interesting winter in trade circles and things. But there is a nucleus there. They do have a chance to get some fine young pitchers over there that have looked extremely well. And so I really look for the White Sox to come back next year and have a very good ball club.
Kenny Kraybeck did a super job the other night.
Kenny Kraybeck is an excellent pitcher, and he's getting better all the time. If he just goes out and gets ahead of people and challenges them, he's unreal.
Yeah. All right, Cubs and the Philadelphia Phillies preparing to get together here for the last game. Don Kessinger is talking with. And before we have the first pitch of the ball game, we're going to take time out right now because Vance Fothergill at the organ is going to be playing our national anthem. Steps in against Dennis Lamp. Let's take time out for this message.
True Value Hardware stores can help you with hundreds of jobs around your home for just a few pennies. With a 60-yard roll of tuck masking tape for just 39 cents. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest you use it to protect surfaces when you paint, or to seal boxes, or with hobbies, crafts, and more. Get a 60-yard roll of 3/4-inch tuck masking tape for just 39 cents. And to make many permanent household repairs, True Value Hardware stores suggest you get GE silicone sealants. They apply easily, remain waterproof, and are flexible enough to withstand temperature extremes, so they're ideal for bathroom, basement, or outdoor repairs. And right now, you can get a 3-ounce tube of GE bathtub seal for just $1.99 at participating True Value Hardware stores. Tell them Pat Summerall sent you.
The plate umpire today with Jim Quick at first base, Jerry Crawford working at second, Doug Harvey over at third, which means that he'll be stationed in front of the Cub dugout. And I'll repeat for you in case you missed it early. Herman Frank did call Harvey and apologize for the just kicking episode here yesterday. McBride, 2 for 5 in the ball game yesterday. Starts this afternoon with a .275 batting average for the Phillies. 7 homers and 36 runs batted in. We have Larry Bittner at first base, Manny Trio at second, Ivan De Jesus at shortstop, Rodney Scott is at third. Battery mate for Dennis Left today is Dave Rader, with Dave Kingman, Greg Rose, and Bobby Mercer in left, center, and right. And a beautiful, beautiful hot day. Just a bit of a breeze scurrying out towards center field. Lamp against the Phillies, 0-3 this year. Worked just under 16 innings against them. They're getting pretty good, especially early in the season. Right-hander delivers, and the first pitch of the ball, a little bit low, and the ball game is underway. Dennis got to win his last time out. He's now 6-13, and this is rookie year. Breaking pitch by the right-hander, and he misses low. Ball 2. Tony Taylor coaching down at first base for the Phillies, and Billy DeMars in the coach's box at third. Outfield is pretty deep for McBride. Phillies with a still tenuous half-game lead over the Pirates. A swing on the ground ball to Bittner. Lamp off the mound, and he barely wins that race to the bag. Bittner feeding it as he had to come way off the line toward second base. Good man to keep off. That'll bring up Larry Boa, the shortstop, hitting .301 with 2 for 5 in yesterday's ball game. Boa with 3 homers, driven in 35 runs for the year. Here at Wrigley Field, in the last meeting between these two ball clubs now, the Cubs 3-5 against the Phils. Boa swings and drives one into center field. It should be caught. Gross comes over, makes the catch in straightaway center, and they're 2 away. That'll bring up Gary Maddox, hitting .279. Was held to 1 hit yesterday and 5 at bat. Has 9 homers and driven in 57 runs for the year. Quite a battle for that National League batting championship. Jeff Burroughs of the Braves on top today with a .317 mark. And hot on his heels are Bill Buckner of the Cubs and Dave Parker of the Pirates, 2 points below him. First pitch, and he takes the strike right at the knee. Jose Cruz of Houston up at .308 now. And Bill Madlock and Jack Clark, both of the Giants, at .307 in the National League batting derby. Maddox has stepped out for a moment. Now resets himself with that extremely wide stance. 0-1 delivery. And he takes it. The ball missing outside. 1-1.
Guy signing autographs down there can't sign his name. He looks familiar, but
who's helping?
He's a little shaky.
Good swing. Ground ball to Manny Trio. He's up with a peck. Over to first base. Old Harry Carey.
Somebody's helping, holding him up.
Nice of Harry to come out and see a Major League game, Lou.
It is. He still wears those dark glasses, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has to. Those eyes are pretty tender.
That's not a fake nose.
Well, I'm glad to see that he hasn't missed any meals lately. Sweating a little bit. Strangely enough, doesn't have a beer in his hand. Greg Rose. Rodney Scott. Larry Bittner will be stepping in to lead off as the Cubs come to bat at the bottom of the first inning. No score. Baseball isn't exactly the same as it was before. There are more teams, new uniforms, new rules. Over the years, the game has gone through quite a few changes. But in those years, one thing hasn't changed. Heilmann's old-style beer. That's because the folks at G. Heilmann Brewing Company take great pains to protect the taste of their great light beer. Since Gottlieb Heilmann founded the brewery back in 1853, Old Style has been brewed only one way. The traditional Old World way, known as Kreuzening. Kreuzening is pure brewing, double brewing. It's nature's own way with no shortcuts. And as in Gottlieb's day, the same care goes into selecting ingredients. Only the choicest hops, the finest grains, and sparkling pure Wisconsin spring water. Virgin water that flows cool and clear from deep beneath the ground. For a change, try the beer that doesn't change. Try Old Style and taste the difference Kreuzening makes. Greg Gross did not play in yesterday's ball game. He stepped in, hitting .272, and he's not had too much success against Christensen. He's 1 for 7 against this right-hander for the year. Christensen, just 24 years of age, 6'4", about 210. He has brought his earned run average down with these last 3 victories to 3.39. Won 11 and lost 12. There's a clear shutout this year. 1-1 and lost 1 against the Cubs. Joe Malfitano coaching at third and Cookie Rojas at first base. They are playing Gross as though he were a right-handed full hitter. As Smith Boa, the left side of the infield. Sizemore, Hebner on the right side. Boone, the catcher. Christensen's first pitch. Right-hander misses a little bit low. Ball 1. Brzezinski just inside the left field foul line. Fastball. Takes for a strike. 1-1. And Maddox way over in the left center field with McBride about 100 feet off the right field line. Curveball reaches out after it. Good change on it. And he taps a weak little foul ball right near the plate. Gross is in the hole. Ball 1, strike 2. Tomorrow night we'll be at Montreal with Scott Sanderson scheduled to go for the Montreal Expos. We're pulled to within 2.5 games of the Cubs. And Ray Burris, starting pitcher tomorrow night for the Cubs. 1-2 delivery. Fastball, he's outside. 2-2. Well, you had a chance to interview Don today before the ball game on our sister station, Channel 9. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Fastball that he fouled, back out of play. I wish we could be out there tomorrow night.
Yes, I do too. We could upstage Harry a little bit too, walking through the crowd, waving a handkerchief, a red handkerchief.
Yeah. He started down the aisle, way down the right field side, and all the way around to the left field side. He hates that attention. 2-2 pitch is a ball, high and outside. But he's a good broadcaster.
Yes, he is. I wish he'd come up. We
put him on
take
in,
over.
put him to work. Gross goes after that one, drills it foul down the left field line.
He probably came in the fast gate and doesn't have a seat. That's probably why he's walking all around.
Got a big enough seat that he's carrying with him. Right behind him, wherever he goes. 3-2 pitch, swung on, ground ball to Boa, skips by it. Goes out into left field. And Gross is going to be out. Boa tried to play that one off the side. He is charged with the Phillies' 88th error of the year, and the Cubs have a man on. The way things are going, we'll be glad to get the help. That brings up young Rocky Scott. 1 for 4 in the ball game yesterday, and a .271 hitter for the year with 7 runs batted in. Doesn't have any homers. Hebner will be holding Gross down at first base. Let's see if the Cubs might have something going here. Normally, Christensen has good control. First pitch. He pushes the butt. Foul on the third base side. Hebner battling the gnats down there at first base. Hot weather's brought him out.
Who has? Who has?
The hot weather?
Never mind that. Who has?
What'd they say?
Oh, you said hot weather, but I was thinking of another guy that brought him out.
Oh, he might have been. Yeah, he brought some bugs, I know that. Took that one for a ball. 1-1 on him. Boy, it'd be nice to get about a dozen runs. 1-1 pitch. Gets under that one, and he fouls it back out of play. Gets the shoulder considerably that time. Ball 1, strike 2. Bottom of the first inning is no score. Christensen steps off the pitching rubbers. He started into the stretch. Just as they had played Gross to swing very late, they're doing the same thing with Rocky. 1-2 pitch delivered. Swung on, missed the throw to first. Look out. Gross back in safely. Got him with a good curveball. I wish he could keep both feet on the ground when he swings at those moves.
With 2 strikes on him, he jumps at that ball.
He sure does. One away. Runner is still on at first base. Come on now, let's move him around. Here's Larry Bittner. 0 for 6 against Christensen this year. Batting .265 for the year. 4 homers for Bittner. 47 runs batted in. Playing to swing a little late, but no way like they played Gross and Scott. Go to the top. First pitch swung on. Ground ball. Sizemore has it. Wheels to second. Here's the relay. Not in time. No double play. Sizemore had to go a considerable distance over towards first base to get that ground ball, and they forced Gross at second. They're 2 away, and that'll bring up Dave Kingman. King Kong got a hit yesterday. A line single into left field. has 25 home runs for the year, 1 against Christensen. Steps in with a 246 batting average, and he faces the ball club not only in homers, but in runs batted in. He has 72. Christensen into the stretch. He's going to take the first pitch. Ball that breaks, but in too close. Ball 1, right at the belt. George Foster, of course, still leads the league in homers with 31, and in runs batted in with 98. Greg Luzinski next in homers. And the ball very deep down the left field line for Kingman. He checks. He's swinging at the strike, a fastball. 1-1. I wish he'd have taken a rip at that one, Lou. That was it. Just wasn't ready. Couldn't pull the trigger. 2 gone. Runner at first. No score. Fastball. A big swing and a miss. And Christensen really popped one in. One of the most popular members in the Cup Minor League organization was up here with the Cubs for a couple of years, the coach Jim Saul. Well, he did a fine job this year at Midland, Texas, as manager of that Double-A farm club. Here's a pitch, a swing and a miss as he chased a breaking ball, but was outside the strike zone. And Christensen gets his second strikeout of the inning. No runs, no hits, and error. 1 man left on at the end of 1. No score. Talking a moment ago about Jim Saul, who's managed the Cubs Double-A farm club at Midland, Texas this year. He was named Manager of the Year in the Texas League. They ended the second half of the season tied for second, only 1 game out of first. If they won that last game of the season, they would have gone into the Texas League playoffs. Sitting down there alongside of such stalwarts, Randy Hundley, Billy Williams, just about everybody in the Cup Minor League organization. All the managers, scouts are here for a big conference this week as they go over all the players that they have managed, that they have seen in other organizations. That's the time, Lou, when they probably laid the groundwork for a lot of deals.
Yes, not only for 1979, but maybe 81, 82, 83, getting some young ball players from other organizations.
The ball, Greg Luzinski, shut out yesterday in 3 trips, takes the first pitch of ball as he leads off the second. There's a swing, and he pops one up. Manny Creel backpedaling behind second base on the grass, shading his eyes. He's got it. And the ball is out of there. That's a nice feeling. Richie Hebner batting .291 after getting 3 for 4 here yesterday and driving in a couple of runs. See the hitter, the left-hander with 15 homers, 63 runs batted in. Lamp has faced him before this year. And he's 2 for 7 against Dennis. Right-hander wide. Fastball. Missed the outside corner and barely. Mercer extremely deep in right field, just in front of that curve in the bleacher wall. And extremely deep in center is Greg Rowe. There's a swing, and he taps that foul ball over beyond the end of the Philadelphia dugout, right in front of the cage where the photographers sit. Ball 1, strike 1 on Richie Hebner. Then blow over the plate. Good hitter. Takes that one high and away. Ball 2, strike 1. The old veteran, Gaylord Ferry. When you look at the pitching leaders in the National League, has his name right on top. 16-6 for the Padres. A remarkable man. There's a ball low away to Hebner. 3-1 on him. Rod Carew, still leading the American League in hitting, 340 for that great veteran. Jim Rice, hitting 326. Hebner swings, and there's one off a trio. Picks it up on the infielder. It has no play. Hal Hebner with an infield single. Too hot to handle. Brings up Mike Schmidt with a man on at first base and one away, no score. Schmidt yesterday got his 18th home run of the year, and it came with 2 men on. And he drove in another run in the ballgame, giving him 64 for the year. The homer is 18th of the season. Batting .254. That's 3 pretty good hitters there, Lou, with Lazinski, Hebner, and then this kid.
And all of them have been through the war, so to say, as far as pressure baseball.
Yep. Hebner, of course, with the Pirates, and he's with the Phillies last year. Mike takes the first pitch of the strike to him. Just caught the inside corner. And he has fine speed. Schmidt has. Bob Boone, excellent catcher in the on-deck circle. Outfield for Schmidt. Round to the left end, very deep. 0-1 delivery. Just missed outside. Ball 1, strike 1. Well, Jim Rice hitting .326. 38 home runs. 121 runs batted in. He's not having too bad a year. 1 out, 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Good hit by Dennis. He jammed him right at the belt with a blazing fastball. Ball 1, strike 2. He has stepped out, checking sides with DeMar coaching at third. Hebner with a short lead right now. Bittner holding him on over there. We got a lot of these Phillies who can move. 1-2 pitch. Checks his swing at the ball. In too close between the belt and the knees to level the count at 2-2. Dennis's earned run average, one of the better ones on the pitching staff at 3.55. He's going to work over 200 innings this year. First year for him in the majors. Into the stretch, the kick, the pitch. Schmidt takes. Fastball misses inside again. Trying to jam him with it. Ball 3, strike 2. We'll keep an eye on Hebner to see whether or not he might go. With a count full. Schmidt has fanned 86 times. He strikes out on an average about every 5 trips. 3-2 delivery. Hebner doesn't go. He swings and taps a little foul. Change speeds on him. Have to wonder, Lou, where Boston would be without Jim Rice this year, right?
Yes, indeed. What a year. Tremendous year.
And Guidry locked to win that Cy Young Award in the American League. The MVP has got to go to Rice. 1 out. 3-2 pitch. Schmidt swings again. And they killed that pitching way inside. And he tapped that one foul. I wonder who's going to get those awards in the National League right now, huh? I suppose it depends somewhat on who winds up winning what.
I think it can be won from here on out to the end of the season by any individual that has had a fairly fine year. It's that close.
Yeah. 3-2 pitch. Hebner not going. A swing and a miss. He got him with what I think was a slider down and away. Good pitching. Boy, he really worked on him, didn't he?
He's got a great fastball. That one sailed away. The other one on the inside, the tip looked like it was a sinker.
That's a big strikeout for Dennis, his 60th of the year. And with 2 gone and Hebner still on at first base, he faces Bob Boone. First the Cubs earlier this year right here. Hitting .289, has a dozen homers, 58 runs batted in. And he has hit Boone very well. Takes that first pitch a strike. Or he's hit Christian Lamp real well. I'll get it right. He is 4 for 5 against Dennis Lamp this year with a homer. 0-1 pitch. Flicks up on it. He's out in front. Taps a foul down the third baseline. Skips into the box seat. 0-2. Ron Guidry of the Yankees, only 20 wins and 2 defeats. Incredible season. 0-2 pitch. Pitched it outside. Ball 1, strike 2 with 2 gone, no score. Hebner on with an infield single, first base. Jesus deep in the hole for Boone at short. Here's the pitch. Hebner goes. He swings on the hit and run. Fouls it back out of play. Take a moment here for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago.
Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field on a steamy September day. Final game of the homestand. Be it Montreal over the weekend, and New York and Philadelphia next week. 1-2 delivery. Boone takes outside with a fastball. 2-2. Sizemore in the on-deck circle. Be on the air tomorrow night at 6:15 in Chicago. Same for Saturday night. 6:30 in the network. 2-2 pitch. Runner goes. Swung on. Bounces a foul down the third base side. They try to hit and run again. Boone will only strike out about once every 10 trips to the plate on an average. Quite a difference between his ratio of strikeouts to at-bats and that of Mike Smith.
I think this is where Boone has improved tremendously. Just on that account. Less strikeout. Better eye at the plate.
Yeah.
Knowing the strike zone.
Dances straight away. Lamp ready. Hebner goes again. He slaps one right back into the glove of Lamp on one hop. He was fooled by the pitch, and it's an easy out for Dennis and the Cubs. No run, 1 hit. 1 man left on, an infield single. And the Cubs come to bat against the Phillies in the bottom of the second inning with Bobby Mercer, Manny Trio, and Dave Rader to step in. No score. Right now is the time to test drive a 78 Cutlass. Why? Because right now with over 4,000 available in Chicagoland, you can choose the color and options you want with immediate delivery at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. When you test drive the 78 Cutlass, you'll discover how the new trimmer size makes for smooth riding, easier handling. Inside, feel the comfort and enjoy the space because there's more headroom and legroom than ever. The fans visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers today. Test drive the 78 Cutlass. You'll discover what a pleasure it is. Mercer to lead off. Hasn't been able to play the last few days. He was anxious to get back into harness today. He's batting .281. Has only 8 homers for the year and driven in 55 runs. The offseason that he's had has distressed him more than anybody else, I'm sure. I'm looking at the probable pitchers here, Lou, given us in the Montreal series. And after the fine luck that Dick Williams had with left-handers here at Wrigley Field, and was telling how he set up his pitching rotation to get him going. He's going to start out the series Friday night, but the young man from Chicago, Mercer's out front, lines a foul. The members of the bullpen crew threw his helmet at it, missed.
Do you think that was a smoke screen?
Oh, yeah.
His statement here is we were going to get 3 left-handers. We're only going to get 2.
Yeah.
Unless he changes his mind.
Which he might do. He could even move Grimsley up to pitch against us on Sunday rather than Fryman. That would be a matchup between Russell, who worked here yesterday, and Grimsley, who won down at St. Louis last night. But he's got Fryman scheduled to go Sunday, and the young rookie from Chicago, Scott Sanderson, going tomorrow night against Ray Burris. And then another Chicago area product, the lefty Dan Shotfigure, going Saturday against Frank Kruko. 0-2 pitch. Mercer swings with the high fly ball. Luzinski with a skate down in left field, playing almost perfectly, has it. one away. High fly the opposite side brings up Manny Trio.
This, I think, is giving your pitchers out a series or two in advance now. They just give names.
Yeah.
Because I think it all depends on what Montreal does with New York tonight as to whether he needs a particular game or not, and he'll push a man up with only maybe 2 days rest or 3 days rest.
He could well do it. He would love, of course, to move in front of the Cubs. And they can't give up hope either of winding up winning the whole thing, even though they are a lengthy 8.5 games out, and they have to climb over the Cubs and the Pirates.
And do it without a Rogers.
Yeah. That's the guy that they're really going to miss. First pitch is a strike to Manny Trio, hitting .263, 4 homers for him, and 46 runs batted in, and he looks at strike 2. Well, he's got himself in the hole without lifting the bat from his shoulders. 1 for 4 yesterday. 0-2 pitch. Over the top of the breaking ball, it's too low. Ball 1. Christensen, pretty good motion. Calm and slender. Steps back, winds, here's the pitch. The fastball swung out of miss. Shot one by right at the sneeze. 3 strikeouts already for Christensen. Gives him 111 for the year. Base is empty for Dave Rader. Dave hitting only .203, 3 homers, 32 runs batted in. Did not play yesterday. The first pitch by Larry is a strike called on him. And against Christensen this year, Rader hitless in 7 at-bats. Curveball. Caught the outside corner, 0-2. Rio took 2 strikes. Now Rader has taken 2 strikes. We're not being very aggressive here. There's a swing on a fastball, and he fouls it back out of play. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field. We have no score in the ball game, and the Cubs without a base hit so far. 0-2 delivery, lets up on it, it's way outside. Ball 1, strike 2, just showed it to him. White Sox play at home tonight. Steve Stone stepped to the door against the Seattle Mariners. 1-2 delivery. Curve outside, 2-2. Tomorrow night at Sox Park is going to be Don Kessinger night. 2-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. He chased a high one. 2 strikeouts in the second inning, followed by 2 strikes out in the first inning. And the Cubs, who did not get to Carlton at all until late yesterday, have done nothing against Larry here today. Have one man reach on an error, and he struck out 4 men. No runs, no hits. Nobody left out at the end of 2, no score.
You can count on us for saving. You can count on us for quality. Here's a great value from the produce experts at Eagle. This weekend, find fresh, firm, ripe tomatoes for only 29 cents a pound at Eagle's produce department. Everything a supermarket should be, doing everything a store should do. When you bite into a sweet and juicy fresh Bartlett pear, not only does it taste good, but Pacific Mountain Bartletts are good for you, too, and plentiful this week at certified food stores. While you enjoy the entire sweetest fruit around, your body gets fresh fruit nutrients from Bartlett pears. What a naturally sweet way to do something nice for yourself. Get a whole sack full of fresh Pacific Mountain Bartletts, arriving this week at certified food stores.
Infield hit so far. Looked very, very sharp. We go into the third inning. The Phillies coming to bat. Lou, come on in.
Looks like a great pitching duel between Lamp and Christensen. Cubs with no runs, no hit. Philadelphia, no runs and 1 hit. Lamp will face Sizemore, Christensen, who incidentally is a very good hitter, and then McBride. Sizemore is batting .233, 16 RBI. Sizemore, right-handed hitter, steps in the batter's box. Mercer takes a few steps towards the right field foul line, assuming that Sizemore will swing late on Lamp's fastball. this time. First pitch to Sizemore. Swing and a ground ball to shortstop's left base. Who has it? Fires low into the dirt, but Bittner backhands the low throw. Fine play by Larry. One out. Here's Larry Christensen. 1 home run, 4 RBI. Right-handed hitter. The pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. The Phillies, when they work out, have all red, like T-shirts with their names and numbers on the back. And then, of course, when they come out to take infield drill and the game, put on their game shirts. 1-1 pitch now. Curveball, strike called. Christensen jumped out of the way of it, but the ball broke over the plate. A la Wagner's curveball. Wagner, former pitcher with the Red Sox, out here today as a scout. 2-2 on the next pitch was low outside. 1 out, nobody on base, no score. The pitch by Lamb. Inside, ball 3. The pitch. Swing and a ground ball to shortstop. The Jesus Wait gets it on a short hop. Throws to first. 2 outs. The Jesus, knowing that the pitcher was running after he hit the ball, just took his time and waited on that ball to get to him. 2 outs, top of the order. Here's McBride, who has been a hot hitter for the Phillies in the last 3 weeks. McBride in right field defensively. Maddox in center. Gives the Phillies quite a bit of speed. Here's a swing and a long foul ball down the left field line. Strike 1. That Maddox, of course, helps Lozinski. He covers left field as well as center. Well, at least left center and center. 1 strike to McBride. Very fast, left-handed hitter. The pitch. Slow curveball outside. Didn't break it. It's 1-1. Scott is at third. Jesus at short. Trio at second and Bittner replacing the injured Buckner at first. The outfield of Kingman, Gross, and Mercer left to right. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Swing and a line drive, base hit to right field. You have to keep an eye on McBride. He has 26 stolen bases, and with 2 outs here, and Boa, a left-handed hitter, at bat, both Lamp and Rader have to be alert. That is the second hit off Lamp. Coming with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Bittner holding the runner close to first. Lamp into the stretch. Checks McBride. Here's the pitch. He bunts down the third base line. Lamp is off the mound, has it, throws to first. Boa's out. Boa did not get the ball close enough to the line. He was hoping that the ball would hug the line, the foul line, but it didn't. And Lamp fielded the bunt and throws to Bittner for the out. That closes out the 3rd inning for the Phillies. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left on base. Cubs come to bat in the 3rd inning, sending the Jesus, Lamp at the top of the order against Christensen. No score.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
Hi, Bob. Marcia Cooper here. We're the people who got the loan to convert the garage into a game room.
How's it coming along?
Oh, it's all finished, Bob.
Good.
I'm talking to you now, Harold.
So now where you once had a garage.
We now have a game room, right?
That's terrific.
I'm going to tell him, yes. Bob, we decided we'd like to build an addition to the game room with a connecting door. All right, I just told him. You see, Harold did it all by himself. He did the floor, the walls, the ceiling. He put in everything by himself except a door. See, I figure if we build an addition with a connecting door, we can get him out without it being a total loss.
Right.
Could you speed up the loan, Bob? He's only got cookies till Tuesday.
Right away.
Oh, thanks,
You can always get a little help from a friend.
He said right away there.
at General Finance.
70 General Finance Chicago area offices. To borrow up to $10,000, call Landover 32020. They also have an office in Elgin.
Ivan DeJesus to lead off the third inning for the Cubs. Ivan hitting .258, 3 home runs, 29 RBI, 26.
For the walls and ceiling. He put in everything by himself except a door. See, I figure if we build an addition with a connecting door, we can get him out without it being a total loss.
Right.
Could you speed up the loan, Bob? He's only got cookies till Tuesday.
Right away.
Oh, thanks,
You can always get a little help from a friend
He said right away there.
at General Finance.
70 General Finance Chicago area offices. To borrow up to $10,000, call Landover 32020. They also have an office in Elgin.
Ivan DeJesus to lead off the third inning for the Cubs. Ivan hitting .258, 3 home runs, 29 RBI, 26 stolen bases this year, and he certainly has improved in that department, and he will improve even more with more experience and studying the pitchers that he can get on base on for stolen bases. First pitch is a strike call. Fastball, strike 2 call. And Christensen is very quick. He's tall, lanky, and then that right arm swings around and fires the ball. It's up on you very quick. There's a foul into the upper deck. First throw. 0-2 the count. Philadelphia plays DeJesus straight away. McBride, the right fielder, guarding the right field line. The pitch. Curveball, tap foul on the screen. Two strikes on DeJesus. Lamp due up next. The pitch. Fastball outside. He wasted that one. It's 1-2. No other action to report in the major leagues this afternoon. Swing and a miss on a high fastball that really sailed. And Christensen now with 5 strikeouts in facing the first 8 hitters. Now here's Lamb. 3 RBIs for Dennis. He has 13 hits. There's a swing and a line drive that drops right in front of Smith. He thought he caught it on the fly, but he looked around to Harvey. Harvey said no. So Smith throws to Hebner for the out. And that's the best ball hit off of Christensen. Hit by the Cubs pitcher Lamb. Right to Smith. 2 quick outs here. Now here's the top of the order, Gross. Opened up the inning and the game in the first by getting on base by Boas Air. That fella hasn't made many errors this year. That was only his 6th error of the season. So you know what a glove man that Boa is. Strike 1. The pitch, strike 2 call. This fella's not wasting any time, nor is he wasting any pitches. 0-2 pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1-2 the count. 2 outs, nobody on base, no score. Bottom of the third. Curveball, a swing, a fly ball, left field. Blazinski there, Maddox right behind him. Blazinski makes the catch. Cubs go down 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. At the end of 3, Cubs nothing, Philadelphia nothing.
McDonald's Sunday will make you smile.
I had a strawberry sundae, and I smiled. I really smiled.
McDonald's is serving Sundays. Vanilla swirls covered with hot fudge, strawberry, or caramel. Arnold, you're really smiling.
So I'm smiling.
But Arnold, you've never done that before.
Well, you never bought me a McDonald's sundae before.
McDonald's is smiling.
Now, True Value hardware stores offer a neat, easy way to paint your home with very little cleanup afterwards. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you the Red Devil painting pad kit comes with a 9-inch pad plus a special metered roller tray that evenly coats the pad with just the right amount of paint, so you can paint walls and ceilings without messy spatters. And the handy sash trimmer gives a smooth, even finish to woodwork. Get the Red Devil painting pad kit for just $6.99. Get it at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Fourth inning. Lamp will face Maddox, Lozinski, and Hefner. Lamp battling the Phillies and Christensen here, pitch for pitch. Phillies have 2 hits off Dennis, while Christensen thus far for 3 innings has a no-hitter. Tonight, Seattle will be at the White Sox. Tomorrow night, Seattle at the White Sox. But more important, it's Don Kessinger night at Comiskey Park. Milwaukee up at Toronto. New York at Boston in a big weekend series there. It's do or die for the Yankees as they trail Boston by 4 games. And then next weekend, Boston at New York. Texas at California. Texas really manhandling the California Angels, keeping Kansas City a chance of adding to their lead. Here's a pop-up near the wall. Raiders there, out of play, strike 1. Baltimore, Kansas City, Cleveland, and Detroit enjoying a day off. As in the National League, Pittsburgh will be at St. Louis, New York at Montreal, San Diego at Cincinnati, San Francisco at Atlanta, Los Angeles at Houston. One strike pitch. Outside, the slider breaking far outside, ball 1. Today, the Cubs will have 22 games left. Here's a swing, a high pop up down the right field line. It could be trouble. Mercer coming in. Now he stops. He's under it, makes the catch. The ball was high enough to allow Mercer to get under and make the catch. 1 out, and here's Lozinski. Dropped his back shoulder, wanted to hit one on Waveland Avenue. First time at bat, but got under it. Popped out the Manning trio. Top of the 4th inning. Dennis Lamb, the pitch. High fastball. Ball 1. Kingman very deep in left field. There's high outside on the next pitch. Ball 2, no strikes to Lozinski. Now moves over into left center. Curveball pop foul down the right field line. On the ball 2, no strike pitch. Lamp and Rader was not going to give Lozinski the fastball. So they changed speeds on the ball by curving it, and he fouls it out of play. Now here's the 2-1 pitch. Another curveball hit on the end of the bat. Ground ball to Trio. Has it. Side arms to Bittner. 2 outs. That's the secret. Changing the speed of that pitch. Keeping those power hitters off balance. But you have to have good motion. You have to have control. And hope that they don't guess right at the plate. 2 outs, and here's Hebner at bat. Infield hit on a hard one-hopper off to the chest of Trio. First pitch, strike call. Hebner's arguing with Olson, the plate umpire, didn't like the call. He's hit on the hand with the next pitch. That ball was high inside, and he is hit on the hands, and that hurts. Trainer coming out now to take a look at Hebner. That baby is hurt. He's in pain as he leans over outside the batter's box. Manager Ozark standing in the dugout, hands on hip. Several of the Phillies have been knocked down or brushed back in this series. Hefner's going to stay in the ball game. That's the fourth man that Lamp has hit this year. And here's Smith at bat. Struck out first time at bat. So with 2 outs, Hefner is on first, hit by one of Lamp's fastballs. And now Mike Smith steps in the batter's box. No score, 4th inning. The stretch by Lamp, the pitch. Curveball far outside, ball 1. Cubs play Smith the same as Lazinski, deep in all positions. Kingman very deep and Gross in left center. 1-ball pitch now to Smith. It's inside, ball 2, and Lamp thought he had the corner on that pitch, as they have been pitching Smith in on his handles, hoping that he will not have a quick bat on one of Lamp's fastballs. Ball 2, no strikes. Lamp pitching from behind. Here's the pitch. There's one low, ball 3, and he may be going after this one. With 2 outs, a man on first. Smith may be given the green light. This is the cripple. And, of course, Smith wants to lay on that cripple if given that opportunity. Hefner with a lead at first. Lamp now checks Hefner over the left shoulder. The pitch, fastball low. Ball 4. So here in the 4th inning, after 2 are out, Lamp hits Hefner, walks Smith, which moves Hefner in the scoring position for Boone, the catcher. Boone hit one right back to Lamp and was thrown out in the 2nd inning. Boone, right-handed hitter, levels the bat over the plate. First pitch to him is low, ball 1. Looks like Lamp, after hitting Hefner, has been shaken up by that pitch. Ball 1, no strikes. Main thing now for the youngster is not to ease up, not to aim. Here's the pitch. Curveball swings, ground ball to Jesus. Toss Smith the trio, and Smith is out. As Rader called for the breaking pitch and got it over the plate. And Boone was looking for the fastball, was out in front of it. Grounds to the Jesus to force Smith to close out the 4th inning with no runs, no hits. 2 men left on base. Cubs come to bat in the 4th inning, no score.
Heileman's Old Style, the legendary beer from God's country, is a beer brewed with sparkling, pure Wisconsin spring water in a traditional old world way of pure brewing, double brewing, called poisoning. Poisoning is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that's fully poisoned, naturally carbonated. Poisoning is what makes Old Style a great, light beer. Try Old Style and taste the difference poisoning makes. Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
In the 4th inning, the Cubs will send Scott, Bittner, and Kingman against Christensen. No score. Scott struck out in the 1st inning. Let's see if he can get on base, because when he gets on base, things happen. He has has great speed. Pitchers have to change their style. They try to quick pitch. They try to hold him on first base. Consequently, they lose a little something with that good pitch, that good fastball, or that slider. And Christensen has had everything working in his favor thus far. No runs, no hits for the Cubs, and he has struck out 5. First pitch. Scott takes a strike, a fastball over the heart of the plate. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago.
The next pitch by Christensen went over Scott's head, Boone's head, and Olson, the umpire's head. Wasn't close to Scott, but it lit right at the screen about 120 feet away from the pitcher's mound. Here's a pop-up. Back at third. Smith there. Foul territory. Gloves it one-handed as he backs away from the plate. But in foul territory. 1 out. Now here's Larry Bittner. Bittner forced Gross to second base. This first time at that. No score, 4th inning. Christensen looks in and has a sign, the first pitch. Curveball outside, ball 1. Phillies played Bittner straight away. There's another curveball, that one low, ball 2. So finally, Christensen is pitching from behind to a Cub batter. Ball 2, no strikes. The pitch. Swing and it pops up down the left field line. That could be trouble if it stays there. It does. It bounces in fair territory. Bittner rounds first, falls down between first and second, but then gets up and jogs into second for a double. Brzezinski was playing very deep, and that one dropped in front of him and then went into the Cubs bullpen for a double. Bittner's 14th double of the year, and the first hit of Christensen. Here's Kingman at bat, struck out in the first inning. Now the Cubs have a man in scoring position. First time today. First pitch to Kingman. He bunts, but the ball hits him. And he's out. Ball hit him far in front of the plate, and he's out. I would think he's out. I don't know what. Olson has indicated a thing thus far. He pointed the ball, hit him in front of the plate, and that's all. I guess it's okay. No, Kingman is out. He slings his bat away. Olson pointed at the ground. So Kingman is out, hit by his own attempted bunted ball. Now here's Mercer at bat. To Mercer to drive the run in. The stretch by Chrisman. Here's the pitch. Mercer takes outside, ball 1. Mercer flied out to Brzezinski in left field in the second inning. Ball 1 pitch. Strike called over the outside corner. 1-1 to count now to Bobby. Bittner is on second base with 2 outs. No score, 4th inning. First chance the Cubs have had to score. The pitch. Outside, ball 2, strike 1. Cubs have no runs, 1 hit, a double by Bittner. He's on second base. Philadelphia, no runs, 2 hits. The 2-1 pitch to Bobby Mercer. Outside and low, ball 3. 3 3-1 on Mercer. Trio due up next. Christensen ready. Kicks. Delivers. Curveball swing. Line drive. Base hit into right field. Here comes Bittner. He's going to be held up. There goes Mercer to second. Joe Amalfitano held up Bittner as Mercer lined that 3-1 pitch into right field. And I'll tell you, McBride charged that ball beautifully through to the plate. And his release made Amalfitano hold up Bittner at third. Cubs now with runners on first and third, 2 outs, and Trio the hitter. Mercer advances to second on the throw to the plate. First pitch to Manny Trio is a ball outside, a breaking pitch. 2 outs. Bittner at third, Mercer at second. No score. Here's the pitch to Trio. Fastball low, ball 2. Cubs have a great opportunity now to take the lead. Ball 2, no strikes to Manny Trio. He struck out first time against Christensen. The pitch. It's low, ball 3. To Manny Trio. Dave Rader due up next. The pitch on its way. Strike call. Now it's 3-1, the same count. It was on Mercer when he singled to right. Trio levels the bat over the plate. Here's the pitch by Christensen. Swinging a base hit to right field. In comes Bittner. In comes Mercer. And the Cubs lead 2-0. What you would call a line drive, but it was hit beautifully in front of Maddox. His 47th and 48th RBI. The Cubs have jumped out in front, 2-0. And here is Rader at bat. Manny Trio on at first. First pitch to Rader. Top foul, out of play. Philadelphia, nothing. The stretch. The pitch. Curveball far outside. 1-1 to count. Pittsburgh will be in St. Louis tonight. Los Angeles at Houston, San Francisco at Atlanta. New York will be in Montreal, San Diego at Cincinnati. 1-1 pitch to Rader. Outside and high. Ball 2. This is the first inning that Christensen has been pitching from behind. And as usual, it's been costly. He's trailing 2-0. The pitch now to Rader. Fastball, pop foul. It's 2-2 now. Rader struck out in the second inning. In the first 3 innings, Christensen had struck out 5. Ball 2, strike 2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw to first base. Doesn't make any difference as Rader strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Christensen. But in the 4th inning, the Cubs come up to take the lead with 2 runs, 3 hits. 1 man left on base. At the end of 4, Cubs 2, Philadelphia nothing.
Sizemore will be leading off as the Phillies come to bat, trailing for the first time in the series, 2-0. Sizemore grounded out, leading off the third against Dennis Lamp. And with me here in the broadcasting booth, the new athletic director at Loyola University, Gene Sullivan. And Gene, we're looking forward at WGN to the hefty basketball broadcasting schedule we're going to have, which of course will be featuring 15 of the Loyola games, 15 I think at DePaul, and 5 at Northwestern. And you helped set that up, didn't you?
Right, we sure did. We had just a tremendous response from last year's package on WGN, Vince. We had 25 games. This year we've added Northwestern to the package. So we've really got a Chicagoland basketball thing going now.
That's what it is. Gene, what about the status of John Hunter, who was hurt last year?
We're very pleased with the progress of John Hunter. He had a very terrible automobile accident before last season. He had to sit out the whole year. He's back now. He's got full permission from the doctors to go all out. Right now we're very optimistic that he's going to be our starting center.
That'll help you tremendously, won't it?
Yeah, John not only is a fine player, but he's an excellent team player and an excellent leader.
First pitch of Sizemore is in for a strike, right above the knees. And you're doing something a little different this year. You're going to play some of your home games at Northwestern, huh? Here's the ball. Strike. Breaking pitch, right at the knees.
Right, Vince. We're going up to play 4 games at McGaw Hall. They got a little bit of ballpark. We appreciate Northwestern opening their facility to us, and we hope that we can bring some people up there.
For years and years, of course, Loyola has had to play in cramped quarters up there in that gym. Here's the windup in the 0-2 pitch. Chase the curveball down and away. And Sizemore has struck out to open up the 5th inning. What is in the future for Loyola insofar as the new gym is concerned?
Well, it's hard to say at this stage, Vince. You know, the city of Chicago seems to be having trouble building a new facility for a team. So,
a few cities are having trouble paying for the ones they did build.
I agree to that.
But I met here's Christensen. While he has got a good hitting record this year, this guy has been a good hitter in his brief career, and he's got a lot of power. He's hit 8 homers in his career, 1 this year. Checks his swing and Lamp, after getting a strike in there, misses a little low, but a 1. But I imagine somewhere back in the drawing boards, in the back of your mind, you think about a new athletic facility for Loyola.
Well, I sure do. I hope some people at Loyola will last down there a little while. I just came over in July, Vince.
Fastball swung out of miss, side on it, 1-2.
And right now we're anticipating, building our program up, playing 4 at Northwestern. We're also going to play 1 down at the Chicago Amphitheater. And if we can build some interest, who knows what'll happen.
1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. He got him. He has struck out the first 2 Phillies. Now he goes up to the heart of the batting order. Bake McBride, who singled and grounded out. Bitter to Lamp. How many home games will you have at your gym at Loyola, Gene?
We're going to play 7 right at Alumni Gym at the Vaughn and Sheridan. Play 4 up at Northwestern and 1 down at the Amphitheater.
And who do you open up against?
Well, we open up against Loras College. It's the only Division II school we play.
Yeah.
Then we go up and play Minnesota.
Knocked him off last year, did you?
Yeah, we did.
Ground ball, the Bittner, he's got it, drops it, picks it up, Lamp off the hill. And he is safe at first base. Lamp may have missed the bag. He is not a good fielding pitcher in that particular play. He's had trouble with it all year long, and it'll be one of the things you can be sure that Dennis will be working on in spring training next year. Bittner bobbled the ball, kept it in front of him, and he is going to be charged, Bittner is, he's going to be charged with the error. He came down to the bag all right. We're looking at our television replay. I'd say McBride just beat it out, Gene.
Yeah, it looks like a tie goes to the runner. They both hit that base about the same time.
Yeah. That is the Cubs' second or first error of the afternoon. Phillies have committed 1. And Boa, the shortstop, who committed that error, steps in. Batting lefty, of course, McBride, always a threat to go. Takes the first pitch of strike. You knocked off some pretty good ball clubs last year, Loyola did.
Yeah, Jerry upset, the big one, of course, was his big upset at Marquette. And then he also upset Indiana State with Larry Bird, got Georgetown. And just had a great year. We hope we can continue some of that.
Is this Jerry's 4th year or 5th year?
This is Jerry's 4th. He had part of that prior year. George Ireland, if you recall, retired with a few games to go in the season.
We're looking forward to it. A 35-game basketball schedule on WGN. We've missed being able to do all of that prior similar to last year, of course. Got into it for the first time in a long while, and I know our listeners appreciated it. I know I did.
Sure. Well, we had this great...
Red Rush and Bill Bird covering it again, right?
Oh, yeah, we got the great Red Rush and Bill from your own station.
The trouble with Red is you can't get him excited on a basketball. Right goes. There's a pitch. Here's a throw. High! DeJesus leaps and prevents the ball from going into center field. Greg McBride has only been caught stealing 3 times this year. That is his 27th theft. So the Cubs are not the first team to be had by his speed. And he had a big jump that time. So they've got a man in scoring position, and the count is 1-1. Yeah, Red is always so phlegmatic on the air.
Yeah, Red just doesn't seem interested in the game. He gets so excited he almost starts playing.
1-1 pitch. Fastball right into the glove on one hop to Dennis Lapp. Whirls, throws, he's got him out of the inning. One hopper right back to the pitcher. Phillies in the 5th, no run. No hits, an error. One man left on, and the Cubs come to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning at Wrigley Field, leading 2-0.
I'll handle this, Carol. It's our first new car, and this salesman is going to come at us like a ton of bricks.
But the sign says we make car buying a pleasure again.
I don't care what the sign says.
Hi, can I help you?
See, Carol? Patronizing.
We're interested in the Cutlass.
I don't blame you.
Pressuring us already.
Can we look around for a while? I'm not sure about color or equipment.
Listen, just take your time. If you have any questions or you want some help, I'll be right here.
Now he's ignoring us, Carol.
Jack, that salesman is a pleasure to deal with.
Well, he won't be here when we need him. Watch.
Yes, sir?
Nice place you have here.
Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Find out how we can make car buying a pleasure for you.
Back with you at Wrigley Field, and it's going to be Ivan DeJesus, Dennis Lapp, who should get quite ahead when he stepped in, and then the top of the batting order, Greg Gross. Cubs are leading 2-0. DeJesus struck out, leading off the 3rd, and he has had no luck against Christensen for the year. He's 0-8. With me now, after Gene Sullivan from Loyola was here, their AD, we have Johnny Pott, athletic director at Northwestern University, and a restless man these days because it's the first time in, 25 years, John? You haven't been coaching football?
Yeah, well, 28 years.
28 years? You don't miss it, do you?
Really, I don't. I'll miss the game, but the practice and all the other stuff is no.
Well, I'll tell you, first pitch of the ball outside. You've got a fine young coach up there in Rick Venturi.
We do have that.
Flicks up on that pitch a bit. Ivan did not have a good cut. Half swing, and he fouls it back out of play. The count goes to 1-1 on him. And I want to congratulate you for getting together with Loyola University in DePaul on that hefty basketball schedule. 35 games that are going to be carried on our station. And some of those Loyola games up at... There's a swing and a well-hit fly ball. Left field. Is he back? Way back. He's got room, and he makes the catch under the basket in deep left field. Need a little more muscle on that one. One away. That'll bring up Dennis Lapp, who grounded out to the third baseman. That's quite a move to show that kind of cooperation, John, with the 2 other Chicago schools on that basketball program.
Well, we think it should be. Hopefully down the road we can get involved with possibly having a tournament with all the schools.
That wouldn't be too bad, would it?
Too bad an idea, no.
Yeah. Ball to Dennis seems too close. He's a pretty good hitter. Hitting, there's a pitch that comes in and hits him and hits the bat. Hits his bat and goes down the third base line. And Boone started racing down the line. Now, a warning is going to be issued, I believe. Yep. Andy Olson is going to warn Barry Christensen. Unless I misinterpreted his move out there. Danny Ozark is coming out slowly from their dugout. Yep, that's the warning, because Olson now walks over towards the Cub dugout, points the finger at manager Herman Franks, which means, of course, that if on any pitch that Lamp or his predecessor might throw today that the umpire would consider would be throwing at the batter, then the Cub pitcher would be thrown out of the ballgame automatically. And The ball that hit his bat went down the third baseline. He has thrown out on it. So a warning is issued, and Danny Ozark is coming out to register a beep here. John, you played some baseball, didn't you?
A long time ago in high school. I'll tell you, I thought coaching was bad, but after the last couple 2 days, these umpires don't have an easy job.
Managers and players don't have it too easy this time.
No, they really don't. They're heated competition.
Yeah. Herman trudging back into the dugout. Put out goes to Mike, or the assist to Mike Schmidt, and the put out to the first baseman Hebner. That was a weird one. And Olson has called Rick Ferreira, the Andy Frayne ushering chief, who takes charge of the extra baseballs, and he also has a telephone to the press box, and he's given him the word on that ruling. The pitch was riding in and just must have hit the bat handle of Dennis. Almost hit him at the waist. But so far as Olson is concerned, Christensen was throwing at him. So there are 2 out, bases empty, and Greg Gross steps in. He's reached in an air, lined out to left field. Line one out, he takes the ball. Wind up in the pitch. Takes a strike, curveball, 1-1. The first football game for the Wildcats this year. When is that, John?
Would you believe this Saturday?
Yeah, I would. It's a swing and a drive to the left center field, hauled in. Maddox was playing Rick Rose perfectly. We're just repeating here our interpretation, which for change turned out to be correct. The ball did hit his bat. He grounded out, and a warning issued to the pitcher. John, stick around, will you? I want to talk to you some more. In the 5th inning, we have a little bit of a discussion, we might say, and a warning issued to both benches. And Lamp will be out to the mound to face the 3, 4, and 5 men of the Philadelphia batting order, except still leading 2-0.
I need lead-free gas. How do I know which one's a good one?
I always go with the #1 brand. I paid a lot of money for this car. I want a great lead-free gasoline for it.
I'm a standard dealer. What I tell my customers is that today's new cars run on lead-free fuel, but they don't all run the same way on it. So we standard dealers give you a lead-free choice. Our lead-free Amoco in the Blue Pump is the Midwest best-selling lead-free. Ever since the lead-free age began, lead-free Amoco has been preferred by new car buyers. And now, there's a second lead-free Amoco gasoline. Higher octane Amoco premium lead-free in the Gold Pump. It's designed for cars old and new that need higher octane to run the way they should.
You get a choice at Standard.
I like that Amoco in the Blue Pump. Amoco Premium's great.
See your independent standard dealer near you and get his lead-free choice. You expect more from a leader.
Gary Maddox, Greg Luzinski, Rich Hefner are going to be the first 3 Philadelphia hitters to come up here in the 6th inning. Johnny Part, I know your first game against the Fighting Illini. That's for the Northwestern Wildcats. And we hope to cover you a little bit this year as we're going to be doing the Big Ten Game of the Week, Lou and I, on WGN.
Well, hope to see you there. We're looking for a good season. Rick's captured the imaginations of fans, and it's going to be good wide open football.
I'm sure it will be. That first pitch is a strike to the right-handed hitting Gary Maddox, who's 0 for 2, grounded out and fly to right. Jams him with that pitch, and he hits one off the handle to Manny Trio. Should take him out. He does by a couple of steps, one away. Greg Luzinski, who's popped up to second and bounced out to second, will be the batter. Do you still think it's going to be Michigan and Ohio State battling for it again this year?
Well, I think it looks that way, but I honestly believe that the league is strong enough now throughout that Ohio State and Michigan, they might win a championship, but not without having something to loss along the way.
Well, I sure hope that things are going to even up a little bit. I have nothing against successful programs at either of those schools. You have to give them credit for it. First pitch of the ball. But I would imagine one of the things that should help even up, John, is the fact that there is a reduction in the number of scholarships each year.
I don't think there's any question about that. Cutting down from 120 to 95 just means that there's more, there's more talent available.
Spread it around a little bit.
You better believe it.
Yeah. From a breaking ball, Luzinski held up the time, but it missed. Ball 2, no strikes on the ball. Dangerous hitter, of course. Ball swung on, and he hits a high fly ball to Gross. Shades his eyes to the glove, has his glasses down, and he makes the two-handed catch. Good curve. Two out. Hebner, the hitter, has singled and been hit on the right hand by a pitch. Indiana figures to be a pretty interesting ball club this year, too, don't they?
I think they could be. I think that Minnesota, having gone to a bowl game a year ago, the impetus up there is really taking a turn for the better. So you're talking about two teams right there, and I look at Michigan State to be an extremely strong.
Just going to mention them.
Yeah.
They were coming. Hebner, a left-hander, takes the first pitch for a strike. And Ben Curry of Northwestern is going to play a wide-open game.
Yeah, he's going to put the ball in the air. We have a young man from Immaculate Conception. Kevin Strasser will be our quarterback.
Here's a swing, and he hits a snake on the ground down to Bittner. He's got it this time. Lamp really is off that mound in a hurry. He takes the peg in plenty of time. And Dennis has shut out these Phillies through the first 6 innings, and he has been pitching superbly. Has allowed only 2 singles so far. John Font, stick around. I want to talk to you some more. Okay? Cubs come to bat. Bottom of the 6th inning. Leading the Phillies 2-0. What about the recruiting program for basketball this year at Northwestern? How does it look, John? To get the guys they needed?
Well, I thought Rich Falk did an excellent job. We got 3 people coming in. Jim Stack, of course, I think is a key. The young man from St. Lawrence.
Rodney Scott jumps on the first pitch, fouls it out of play. He's 0 for 2 today. Oh, he was a fine player.
I think he's probably one of the top 3 or 4 in the Midwest, and I think he can help us right off the bat, although I think Tex left the program in pretty good shape.
0-1 to be high, 1-1.
Who else will Rich have up there? Well, he's got, after this pitch here,
there's a strike right at the key.
would you believe we're going to have a center pivot man, 7'1", a young man from out west by the name of Brian Jung. So he's going to move Mike Campbell out to the forward spot. We have a pretty tall basketball team.
Half swing, ground ball, left side, deep in the hole, bowler, long throw. That's right, he's safe. Only the great speed of Rodney Scott enabled him to reach as he went sliding in on a half swing, rolled one slowly to the left side, right off the end of the bat. Keep an eye on him. He may decide he'll want to go. Just Boone's in. 7'1". Where's he from?
He's out in Arizona. He's a transfer student.
Junior college?
Yeah, he was junior college. And so we'll have Mike Campbell at 6'10". Mike, I think down the road can be the first All-American at Northwestern in about 10 years. But really a good basketball player. Straight A student, I might add as well.
Rich Falk got to go undefeated this year, huh?
You said it. You're in the mood with us.
Bittner, with 1 out in the 4th inning, hit a little fluke double inside the left field line, and he came in when with 2 out. Trio singled, driving in both Larry and Bobby Mercer, who had singled. We're going to get some action now in the Philadelphia bullpen. Cousin McGraw, veteran left-hander, starts to warm up. Go to first. Rodney jumps back in safely. He is 24 and 8 in stolen bases. That's the kind of speed you'd love to have on that football team, huh, John? What that Scott can do is quick, yeah. Going to have some quickness with the Wildcats this year.
Yeah, the wide receiver spot. Yeah, 2 young men, 2 sophomores. Tommy North from the area here, and then Mike McGee from Florida. Then Rick brought in a scooter, about 5'7", 170. He does it in about 9'4". So, boy, we've got a little bit there.
Here's a stretch. Christensen's pitch. Bittner takes the ball. Going outside to level it. 1-1. Cubs with a 2-0 lead. Batting in the 6th inning. Well, I sure hope we'll get a chance to see the Wildcats in a few games this year. Go to first. Head first guy back in safely. Got to take a moment for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago.
Your right-hander has joined McGraw down the right field line in the Philadelphia bullpen. Another throw to first, and he makes a dive back safely. This is the year, of course, John, where we're supposed to have a guarantee in football of, $100,000? $100,000.
In the past, what we still will do, we split 50-50, but the visiting team has to be guaranteed
on the brakes as he throws that ball. Bowler chasing him back, and he tags him for the out to retire the side. Whoa! Interference is going to be called. Hefner was standing in the baseline and stopped as he put on the brakes in reverse direction. Ran into him. They would have had him dead to rights if Hefner had just gotten out of the way, or, of course, if he'd have had the ball in his hand. So, Rodney escapes. We got a man in scoring position. Isn't that nice? Nobody out. Benito's looking pretty good. Boy, you better believe you see some crazy things out here today, huh? That doesn't happen very often. There's a swing. Victor out in front of the curve rips a long foul out of play. Ball one, strike two. Going to have any trouble on that guarantee of $100,000 to the visiting football club?
Well, we could have. I don't think if it was strictly Northwestern, we could have, Vince, but there are 4 other schools who were involved with crowds that didn't deliver $100,000. So if we have to make it up at our place, we can, we'll get it back when we travel to some of the other schools. Indiana, Purdue, Minnesota. But the big thing we can do is to hype our program, and hopefully Rick gets started off in good fashion.
Richardson outside of that delivery to run the count at 2-2. Did you vote for that or against it?
No, we voted against it.
I was surprised that it went through. I really was. 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. Ground ball to Schmidt. Checks the runner Scott. Fires over. Richardson outside of that delivery to run the count at 2-2. Did you vote for that or against it?
No, we voted against it.
I was surprised that it went through. I really was. 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. Ground ball to Schmidt. Checks the runner Scott. Fires over to first base as Boa alertly goes over to cover third. Should Scott decide to advance. Bittner's out. Rodney still at second base with one away. And here's Dave Kingman. Bunted and hit himself in fair territory with that bunt in the 4th inning, and he struck out of the 1st. One of Dave's homers this year against Christensen.
He'd be a pretty good tight end.
Oh, yeah. And he can move pretty good, too, when he's healthy. Still a little bit lame from that severe hamstring pull that he got. See how Christensen works on him. First pitch. Tail down and away, and he looked at the ball. We're going to open up our Big Ten broadcasts, Lou and I, this year on Saturday, October 7th, I think. That's going to be Indiana up at Wisconsin. Quick out, pick off attempt at second, and he barely got back in time with a hit first dive. Now, Rodney, you got away with one a little while ago. Don't get picked up again. That was close.
Yeah, he's tempting them.
Wisconsin, of course, with a new coach this year, too.
Yeah, they've got Dave McClain from Ball State. Remember him way back when? He used to play against Miami Kings when I was coaching there.
Yeah. And didn't he go to Miami for a while?
Well, he coached there.
He coached there. That was it. I knew he had a Miami connection. Just about every coach around, I think, has a Miami connection. Yeah. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he can't swing any harder. And he connected that they've been looking for it a half an hour from now, way up north. Talk about power. This guy, John, has really got it.
That would have been beyond Bank Stadium from here.
What's the capacity of that stadium?
48,000.
48,000. Turn and a throw to second base. Well, I still, after all these years, get a tremendous kick out of the excitement and the color of college football. It's still, I don't think anything that can match it.
Still a good way to spend Saturday afternoon.
It really is. One out, runner at second, 1-1 pitch. Swung on a miss, and he fell to his knees trying to get that fastball that was down and away to him. Don't hurt yourself, big guy. And the excitement, I think, of seeing a lot of these freshmen who now get a chance to play, John, or something, too.
That's it. That's helped really with the freshmen themselves. They're more part of the team. Before, use them as a scout team, it makes it pretty difficult to keep their enthusiasm up.
attendance at Northwestern. I know that they're really working hard at it this year. 1-2 pitch. Fastball tucked right in under his chin as he started to step into that pitch. Got himself a shave without really wanting it. The crowd is booing the pitch by Christensen. Ball 2, strike 2. Due to a warning, Christensen did when he came inside with one to Dennis Lamb. There's a swing and a miss. Right over the top again, the pitch down and away, and that's the one that he fooled him on twice previously. Well, the big fella has fanned for the second time today. And with 2 outs, shot at second, it'll be Bobby Mercer, who singled and scored in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2 today. You're putting on quite a campaign to increase those ticket sales, and I sure hope it's going to be successful. Mercer's going to get walked in penitentiary here to want to get the thrill. But you have a small student body, of course, at Northwestern, and sometimes those attendance figures can be a little deceiving to the average public.
Well, they can't, Vince. You know, at most of the Big Ten schools, well, not most, but all of them, they have enrollments of over 25,000 people, so they're going to get 12, anywhere from 12 to 20,000. Difference not only with the crowd but the noise level.
Sure. Well, I hope that you draw well this year, and I wish Rick Mancury a most successful debut, and the same for Rich Falk and that basketball program. And we're delighted at WGN to be a part of it.
I think it's going to be a good association. Yes, I really do.
First pitch to Manny, and he takes the ball a little bit high. He put the Cubs on the board with a 2-run single. Christensen had gotten behind him. Ball 3, strike 1. He had gotten behind on Mercer. And on the 3-1 delivery, Trio got the 2-run single. Now the count on him, 1-0. Here's the pitch. Takes a fastball for a strike. Ball 1, strike 1. Cubs with only 4 hits, but lead 2-0. Dennis Lamb has allowed the Phillies only 2 hits. It's been a pitcher's battle so far today. 1-1 delivery. Scott goes. Trio takes. Boone's throw to third. Too high. He's in there with a stolen base. Christensen had pretty much ignored him. Now he was already in scoring position. Mercer did not go. He's still on at first base. That for Scott is 25th. Since the Cubs brought him up. Here's a stretch. 1-2 pitch. Swung on a bouncing foul in front of Joe Malpicato coaching at third. 1-2 count. Any work that's been done at that stadium in the last year, John?
No, quite a bit. We put close to $1.5 million into the stadium itself. Seating, paint, the whole thing. Good place to see a football game, really.
It is. Always enjoyed it. Runners at first and third. Base hit here would be most welcome. We didn't take a wild pitch or a fastball or an error to get that other run in. Christensen delivers. Almost hit him in the knees with that one. Ball 2, strike 2. Christensen has won his last 3 decisions. Against the Cubs this year, he lost one 2-0. And he beat the Cubs 4-2. He's been involved in 2 very tight ball games against the Cubs this year. 2-2 delivery. Goes to right field, and a fly ball should be caught by Bake McBride. He's got it. And the Cubs in the bottom of the 6th inning threaten, but cannot increase the lead. No runs and a hit, a simple walk, and 2 men left on. So at the end of 6th, Johnny Pond, I want to thank you very, very much for chatting here with us. My pleasure. Good luck to you. Northwestern Wildcats, the athletic program. Phillies come to bat with the Cubs out in front, 2-0.
The next time you want to do it yourself, use a professional. Use a Skill Power tool from True Value Hardware stores. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest you get the Skill 2-speed cordless 3/8-inch drill that operates forward and reverse to drive and remove screws. It features double reduction gearing for high torque performance. It has a safety trigger lock, and it's cordless, so you can use it anywhere. Or get the Skill 7¼ inch circular saw from True Value Hardware stores. It has a powerful burnout protected motor, yet it's lightweight, easy to handle, and ideal for most homeowners' remodeling projects. For your next do-it-yourself project, use a professional. See the complete selection of skilled power tools from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers. Is going to be leading off for the Phillies when they come to bat here in the 7th inning. Lincoln Park Workshop Group is out here with their sign. Go Cubs go. Another big group today, 40 members of the Retired People's Group from the Trinity United Methodist Church of Joliet. Their pastor, Reverend Miller. They couldn't ask for a more ideal ballgame. You know, the new Cub team picture is out, a full-color lithograph print, 11 by 14. The new players, Herman Franks, the skipper, the coaching staff, their autographs are reproduced right over their individual pictures. There's truly an outstanding team picture this year. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you want to do, you cut out the individual pictures and put them in the billfold or whatever. But it makes a great one when you get it framed up, hung up on the wall. Children's room, of course, is an ideal spot for it. And to get one, send your name and address along with $1.50 to Team Picture, Wrigley Field, Chicago. The zip code is 60613, and that includes 50 cents for postage and handling. That's the Chicago Cubs new Team Picture. Revised one. Message furnished by the Chicago Cubs. But today may surpass their attendance of all of last year here at home. A good shot at it because going into this ball game, the Cubs about 81,000 ahead of last year's attendance pace and are just needing 13,400 plus here today to go ahead of last year. One of the paid customers we see, good Chicago baseball fan Paul Corey from over in LaSalle. We've got a few other Cub fans over there too, I understand, Lou. I don't know where you wouldn't find any Cub fans. I know we'll see them in Montreal, New York, and Philadelphia, too, on the road trip. Here's Schmidt stepping in and Lamp in the windup. He swings, pulls a ground ball, base hit through the hole between Scott, who dove for the ball, and DeJesus. Pulled the trigger pretty quickly. That's their third hit. They have a man on with nobody out, and Bob Boone stepping in. He forced Schmidt to retire the side in the 4th inning with a ground ball to DeJesus. And he tapped out to Dennis Lamp to retire the side in the 2nd inning. So Boone today is 0 for 2. But he could tie it up with one swing of the bat. He's got enough power. But Dennis has been pitching superbly. Looks at Schmidt at first base, delivers. A swing and a drive. He's out in front, hammers a foul into the seats down the left field line, out of the hands of a customer. Out near the Cub bullpen where Donnie Moore walks out to retrieve it. We've mentioned the last couple of days, many of the Cub managers, scouts who are here for the big conclave that they've been having and will continue to have. Billy Williams still here, Randy Hundley. 0-1 delivered. Boone takes a strike at the knee. Frank DeMoss, Walt Dixon, who was with us the other day. Gene Hanley, who has signed several Cub pitchers. He's a scout on the West Coast. Eddie Lyons has been an advanced scout much of the time this year for the Cubs. There's a curve by Dennis. It's into the dirt. Ball 1, strike 2. Buck O'Neill has been in the Cub scouting organization for many, many years. Saw him in a deep conversation today with Ray Burris in the Cub clubhouse. Buck a confidant of many of these fellows. Bullpen for the Cubs now getting busy for the first time today. Dennis's pitch swung on, and he hammers a liner. Caught by DeJesus. Wheels the throw back to first, not in time. Brilliant catch by Ivan as he robs Bob Boone of a line single. Moved over there with all the grace of a ballet performer. Set the glove up in the air as he moved quickly towards third. Pulled it in one-handed. But Schmidt alert, back at first base. There's one away, and that'll bring up Ted Sizemore. Could be a game-saving play. You never know.
managers this year for the Cubs, Harry Dunlop, who had the top Cub Farm Club at Wichita. As we mentioned, Jack Hyatt is managed down at Pompano Beach. Sizemore shortens up in the bat, pulls it away from a fastball that's too high. He's batting against Dennis Lamp here in the 7th with the Cubs nursing a 2-0 lead. Sizemore is grounded to short and struck out. Both benches have been warned. Hundley this year managed the Cub team down at Bradenton, Florida. 1-0 delivery. Swung on a miss, and he took a real rip at that one. 1-1. Bobby Adams, Pistol Pete Reeser, Freddie Martin, Billy Williams, they're classified as roving instructors. All of them here taking in the action, along with a host of scouts from other major league teams today. 1-1 delivery. Slaps a foul ball. Back up onto the net. Ball 1, strike 2. Against Lamp this year, Sizemore now 1 hit in 7 trips. Manny Trio drove in the 2 Cub runs in the ballgame. 2-0, top of the 7th inning. Win moves the Cubs back to the 500 mark for the year. 1 out, 1-2 pitch. Swung on a single into center field. He picked that one up just above his knees, lines it cleanly. And the Phillies have men on at first and second with 1 away. Jim McCarver is now going to pinch hit for Larry Christensen. McCarver, of course, did all the catching yesterday for Steve Carlton. And at the plate, he had a double, scored a run in the 2nd inning. He was 1 for 5 for the day. Driven in 7 runs for the year. 32 hits and 126 at-bats. Tomorrow night in Montreal, Cubs starting pitcher will be Ray Burris, and he goes up against the rookie right-hander Scott Sanderson, whom the Cubs have faced a couple of times this year. Mike Rourke, pitching coach, is going out to talk to Dennis. McCarver is a pinch hitter, hitting 147, 5 hits, and he's batted in 1 run as a pinch batter. Lamp into the stretch. That's the runner at second, delivers. At the outside corner with a strike. Sitter Willie Hernandez standing down the Cub bullpen. A real hot day. 0-1 delivery. Swung on. Ground ball. Got by Dennis Lamp. Goes into center field. The Phillies are going to be on the board. The ball juggled by Gross. Now he gets it into second base, and Lamp just missed gloving that ball. He might have had a double play. But it was hit very, very sharply. Went right by him. Deflected it, and that was about all. And McCarver has come up with an RBI single right up the middle to shave the Cub lead to 2-1 and send the tying run over to third. And Herman Franks coming out of the dugout. So that's going to be all for Dennis here in this hot September sun. They now have 5 hits. 3 of those 5 have come here in the 7th inning, and it's the bottom part of the batting order that has done the damage. Willie Hernandez is going to be summoned in to face Fake McBride unless we get a pinch hitter for him. With the score, the Cubs 2, Philadelphia 1. Let's take time out for this message.
Baseball isn't exactly the same as it was before. There are more teams, new uniforms, new rules. Over the years, the game has gone through quite a few changes. But in those years, one thing hasn't changed. Heilmann's old-style beer. That's because the folks at G. Heilmann Brewing Company take great pains to protect the taste of their great light beer. Since Gottlieb Heilmann founded the brewery back in 1853, Old Style had been brewed only one way, the traditional Old World way known as Kreuzening. Kreuzening is pure brewing, double brewing. It's nature's own way with no shortcuts. And And as in Gottlieb's day, the same care goes into selecting ingredients. Only the choicest hops, the finest grains, and sparkling, pure Wisconsin spring water. Virgin water that flows cool and clear from deep beneath the ground. For a change, try the beer that doesn't change. Try Old Style and taste the difference Kreuzening makes.
Phillies, Lonnie Smith, the rookie, has gone in to run for McCarver at first base. That's the go-ahead run. And Jerry Martin is going to pinch hit for Bake McBride. And Lou Werman, of course, had to realize that this is certainly a strong possibility that the right-hander be summoned in. So he has to anticipate that, doesn't he?
Oh, yes. He's got the list done in the dugout on his scorecard as to the extra men that Philadelphia has. Puts them down, right-handed hitters, switch hitters, or left-handed hitters. And so he knows exactly what move Ozark will have to make if he makes it. And he's made it.
Martin is a pinch hitter, batting .227. Let me tell you, he's made his hits count coming off the bench. He has 5 hits, 3 of them are homers as a pinch hitter. And he's batted in 7 runs as a pinch batter. He's a very valuable guy. He has started a lot of ball games. He can play 2 or 3 different outfield positions, has good speed. And I'm sure that with a lot of ball clubs, Lou Jerry Martin would be a regular out there.
Yes, indeed. He's a good ball player.
He's hitting .275 for the year, with a total of 9 home runs, 34 runs batted in. That he can be pitched to. He has fanned 56 times this year, 240 at-bats. Willie Hernandez will face him. For Dennis Lamp has worked 6 1/3 innings. Allowed 1 run, but he's responsible. For Lonnie Smith, the pinch runner at first base. And for the tying run at third, Ted Sizemore. Right out of there now. Left-hander looks down to get his sign from Dave Rader. Long look at first. Dick steps and throws to first base. Did not have Lonnie Smith fooled with that move. Willie's earned run average has been on the climb and is now up at 3.98 for the year. That's pretty hefty. 1/8 lost 2. And 3 saves in 52 1/3 innings. So he's been involved in an awful lot of decisions. 48th appearance, all in relief. Here's a stretch. The kick, the pitch. Martin swings, bounces a foul, and came up and hit him in the body before rolling back to the backstop, and immediately Rader is going out to talk to him. Got halfway out while he says, I know. Strike 1 count. With Smith's speed, Ken Martin can move, even though he's a right-handed hitter. It'll cost him a step or 2 to get out of that batter's box. To get a double play here, he'd almost have to hit one directly right at the Jesus or trio. Smith can fly. That's the word on him. Pretty good lead at first base for the kid. Hernandez checks him. There he goes. Here's a pitch inside. Rader cocks the arm, does not throw. He had a big lead that time. And the rookie, who represents the go-ahead run, is on with a stolen base. Out at second. It's his first attempt at stealing, and it's successful. The breaking pitch inside. Ball 1, strike 1. Base hit now could give him the lead, and of course the possibility of a double play is diminished by about 99%. Jesus coming in on that left side about halfway. Trio in a little bit on the right side. Rodney Scott about 5 feet off the line and about 7 or 8 feet back at third. Hernandez with runners at second and third. Now works from a windup, and here's the 1-1 delivery. Swung on and a foul ball. They hit him and then rolled out towards the mound. He's got himself a stinger with that one. Cubs with a 2-1 lead, 1 gone. Phillies batting in the 7th inning, and neither starting pitcher in this heat, Christensen nor Lamp, able able to go the route. The Phillies have been in first place back on the 23rd of June, but they're hanging on by their toenails right now with that tremendous spurt by the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have won 21 out of their last 23 ball games and 11 in a row. This is the end of a long, long road trip for the Phillies. Now we're ready to wind up in the 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch to him, and he got a piece of it, stays alive as he fouls it back out of play. They started this trip at Los Angeles with 4 games, and down to San Diego for 3, up to San Francisco for 4, then to Los Angeles for a doubleheader, or to St. Louis for a doubleheader up Monday. Then they had an off day Tuesday. They're finishing it up here today. Regardless of what happens, the Phillies will have that long road trip on the plus side insofar as wins and losses are concerned. They finish over the 500 mark on it. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball, down to Scott. Runner coming to the plate that throws high. He slides and he's safe. Great jump on it that time by the veteran Sizemore. And it would have taken a perfect throw, though, to get him. But it was not perfect.
Sizemore got a great jump. The veteran was off of third base very quickly as soon as that ball hit the bat and went to the ground.
Rader had to leap for the ball. By the time he came down with an attempted tag, Sizemore was well across the plate with his slide. We've got a tied-up ball game, and now they have the go-ahead run. Lonnie Smith at third. Credit Martin with a run batted in, and he's on at first with a fielder's choice.
Well, you got to be careful. This fella is very good at bunting that ball.
This is Larry Boa. Tremendous speed in the rookie at third base. And Martin good speed on at first. McGrutt, of course, is charged against Dennis Lamb, and he is also responsible for Lonnie Smith, who's on at third. Hernandez in the stretch. Comes to the plate, a swing, and a well-hit drive. Way down the left field line. Kingman giving chase. Look out. Hits off the base of the wall. Here comes Smith around to score. And there goes Jerry Martin into third on a long double off the bat of Larry Boa to the base of the wall in left field. Boa has just made it a 3-2 ball game, Philadelphia. And all 3 runs are charged against Dennis Lamb. That's going to be all for the left-hander. McLaughlin, who had gotten up after Hernandez came in, is coming in from the bullpen. The Phillies have regained or have taken the lead for the first time today, 3-2. And they have runners at second and third, with still only 1 out. And while McLaughlin gets in his warm-up tosses, let's take time out for this message. The time to test drive a 78 Cutlass. Why? Because right now, with over 4,000 available in Chicagoland, you can choose the color and options you want with immediate delivery at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. When you test drive the 78 Cutlass, you'll discover how the new trimmer size makes for smooth riding, easier handling. Inside, feel the comfort and enjoy the space because there's more headroom and legroom than ever. The fans, visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Test drive the 78 Cutlass. You'll discover what a pleasure it is. This 7th inning, the Phillies had an infield single off the bat of Hebner in the 2nd inning, a single into right field off the bat of McBride in the 3rd. They did have 2 men on in the 4th inning when Hebner was hit by a pitch in the right hand, and Mike Schmidt drew a walk. They had a man reach on an error in the 5th inning. They were put down in order by Dennis Lamp in the 6th. But here at the outset of the 7th inning, the leadoff single by Mike Schmidt. Bob Boone robbed by DeJesus of a single on a fine catch of his line drive. Then Sizemore with a base hit. A single right back up the middle by pinch hitter Tim McCarver. Just barely got by Lamp. That drove in a run. Then Hernandez came on. Ground ball down to third. Up stride 4 and missed the play at the plate. McBride with a run, or Martin with a run batted in as a pinch hitter, reaching on a fielder's choice. Then Boa ripping a double almost to the base of the wall in left field. Now Maddox is going to be put on intentionally by Lynn McLaughlin to load up the bases. And it'll bring to bat Greg Luzinski. There's ball 4. Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
WGN Radio Chicago, 90 at Midway, also 90 on the lakefront.
The earned run average of the Cub pitching staff has been climbing. Starts today a shade over 4. McLaughlin with the Cubs, an earned run average of 3.14. His 40th appearance with the Cubs. 1-4, lost 2, no saves. Got his hands full, the bases loaded, wind up Luzinski. Swings, pops one up. Manny Trio on the outfield grass. Infield fly roll. He grabbed it. 2 gone, bases still loaded. Not out of the woods yet. Not by a long shot. Left-hander Willie Hebner due up. And the rookie, left-hander Dave Geisel, throwing in the Cub bullpen. Tomorrow night and Saturday night, the Cubs and the Montreal Expos playing up in Canada. And our broadcast in Chicago gets underway at 6:15. 15 minutes later on the network. And then Sunday afternoon. Then at New York against the Mets on Monday and Tuesday nights. Time called now. Bobby Mercer is calling Tony Garoppolo, the trainer, on. Mercer walking in. They're going to meet somewhere out in the grass behind second base. Wonder what that's all about, Lou.
He might have become upset to his stomach out there.
And what he's seen?
My guess it was just as good as yours. What do you think is wrong?
It could be the heat has gotten to him. I'm talking to him today about that ankle of his that's bothered him from time to time. He says, no, that's all right, and it has been. Brief medical conference. Mercer walking back out to right field. Losses in their last 4 games has diminished the attendance today of 11,427 saves, so the Cubs will have to wait until they come back home to move ahead of last year's total attendance for the year. All right, we're set to go. Hebner, left-hander, windup. Curveball, and it is into the dirt. Ball 1. Hebner, an infield single in the second. Hit in the hand, or right-handed by a pitch in the 4th. Out on a ground ball, Bittner to Dennis Lamp in the 6th inning. Wind up, 1-0 pitch. Jammed him with it. He pops this one up. DeJesus and Trio. Manny Trio behind second base. Makes the 2-handed catch on the dirt. 2 pop-ups with the bases loaded in the Phillies. Finally are out in the 7th inning, but they have batted around and taken the lead. 3 runs. 4 base hits. 3 men left on. Time for the 7th inning stretch. It's steamy Wrigley Field. For the Cubs, it's going to be Dave Rader leading off. With the score, the Phillies 3 and the Cubs 2.
When you brew a beer in God's country, you begin with sparkling pure Wisconsin spring water. Water that flows deep beneath the ground. Then you pure brew, double brew it in a traditional old world way called poisoning. natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. But Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that is still fully poisoned, naturally carbonated. Because at Old Style, we don't aim to make the most beer, only the best. Taste the difference poisoning makes. Try Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
A new left fielder and a new right fielder for the Phillies. Rookie Lonnie Smith goes in to play left field. He had come into the ball game as a pinch runner. And Jerry Martin, who came in as a pinch batter for McBride, is in right field. And the new pitcher, big right-handed relief artist, Warren Brewster. B-R-U-S-S-T-A-R. He's done a superb job. He's been in 49 ball games. Worked 73 and 2/3 innings. Struck out 52 men. Well, he has 27 walks, 7 have been intentional. So he has an excellent ratio of strikeouts and walks. His earned run average is dandy 2.31. Lowry going over the lineup guard with plate umpire Randy Olson. Be sure he's got everybody in the right order. Our throwing right-hander, Brewster. He will hit in the 4th spot in the batting order where Luzinski was. Ronnie Smith, who had come in to run for McCarver, out in left field. Jerry Martin, who came in as a pinch batter for McBride, hits in the leadoff spot. First pitch. Swung on by Dave Rader, fouls it down the left field line, out of play. A Manny Trio single. The Cubs were nursing a 2-0 lead. It is now a 3-2 deficit. Bearded right-hander looks down, gets his sign from Boone, wind up in the pitch, and Rader just to skip rope. He is hit in the legs by that pitch as he wound up thrown. To check him as he gets up, and he's limping a bit. Like it hit him on the right leg, I guess, Drew, huh? Yes. Right on the instep. Good little adagio flip trying to get out of there, but he couldn't quite avoid it. He's going to be all right. Now, you can be sure that Brewster did not intentionally hit him, because that's the tying run that he has put on to lead off the inning. Umpire's judgment, either pitcher the rest of the day, throws at somebody, that means immediate ejection. We're going to have Rudy Mioli run for Rader at first base. Not just because he was hit in the foot, but because he does not have the swift. Ivan de Jesus be the hitter, and let's see if he can get that man into scoring position. Batting in the 8th spot today. Bond takes the first pitch of ball. He shortened up the bat. Mike Spitz sprinted up the line from 3rd. It's trying to end a 4-game losing streak. And a disastrous homestand. 1-0 pitch. Tries to bunt, misses. Ball 1, strike 1. Donnie Moore is throwing in the Cub bullpen. And the only pitcher down there. Oh, Warren Brewster fires. He puts this one off the mound. Comes Brewster. Glove that has only one play. Throws to Sizemore, covering at first base. The sacrifice puts Mioli in scoring position. That's the tying run with 1 away. Good sacrifice by Ivan. Thompson, the rookie from Wichita, is going to pinch hit. First 2 times up as a pinch hitter for the Cubs on this homestand. He got an infield single and a line shot into right field. He is 2 for 4 with the Cubs. And at Wichita, he hit .324. Very talented young man who figures to be with the ball club next year, right from the opening bell. A left-handed hitter. Coming out to talk to Brewster, and I'm sure, Lou, that what this is going to be is a discussion to remind him of their scouting report on Thompson and his work in the minors this year.
Usually someone, when they're brought up from the minor leagues, has seen Thompson or has played with Thompson. Someone on that bench, so they perhaps have told Ozark just what kind of hitter Thompson is. So he's going out to relay that information to Brewster.
It's a good-looking young pitcher. And a good-looking young hitter against him. Paid attendance today, 11,427. A total in the house of just over 12,200. Thompson batting for McLaughlin. He's got a real good stroke. First pitch, swung on, ground ball right side. He's going to be thrown out by Sizemore. He is. And Mioli goes over to third. It's a good pitch by Brewster. Jammed him with it. 1 pitch, 2 gone. Now Greg Gross will be the batter with the tying run at third. Against Christensen, Greg lined to center field, lined to left field, reached on an error. Sizemore very deep, just in front of the outfield grass. Takes the first pitch, fastball a little bit low. Rudy Mioli, the runner at third. Here's a pitch, low with a fastball. 2-0. Bad odds way over in the left center field. It's shallow for him. The rookie, Lonnie Smith, shallow and left, guards him on. Brewster delivers and knocks a ball. Blocked nicely by Boone. Scrapes it out of the dirt. Checked over by Andy Olson, the plate ump. Ball 3 on Greg. Rodney Scott due up next. They're acting like they want no part of Gross. 3-0 pitch. He takes. Yeah, it's a strike. Like a slider to it. Rudy Mioli, the runner at third. 3-1 pitch. Curve. He lays off, and it's low for ball 4. Didn't get anything good to swing at. All right, Rodney, play the bat on one, will you? Get it out where there ain't no Philly. Got it infield hit. He legged one out in the 6th inning leading off. Got as far as third. It was picked off, but he was lucky because Hebner was blocking the baseline when Bull was chasing it back. He takes. There's a strike right at the letters. Activity now down in the Philadelphia bullpen. Ron Reed gets up. Here's the pitch. That's high and outside. Ball 1, strike 1. Doug McGraw is also going to join him out there. Runners at first and third, 2 gone, 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball, back up the middle, base hit. Just eluded Brewster. Mioli scores, flying run, 3-3. Goes to third. So they pitched around Gross, and Rodney Scott compounds that strategy. Just as they got one right under the glove of Dennis Lamp, Rodney Scott pulls one under the glove of Brewster. The Cubs have tied it. Larry Bittner will be the batter. 8th run batted in this year for Rodney. First pitch. Pitch out. Rodney not going. Ball one. Ball outside. 2-0. That one was blown away. Going to have to come in or load him up. Dave Kingman due up next. 2 gone, tied at 3. Brewster's next one. Swung on, and he got just a piece of it. Came right down on top of it, fouled it, wound up about 15 feet to the right of the plate. The count goes to 2-1. But they're really jumping on that 2-0 delivery. When he laid off, it might have been out of the strike zone. Here's a stretch to pitch. Swung on, ground ball, sizemore, hit it to his right. He's got it. Heads over to first. The side is retired, but they've tied it up. They've tied it up. A roller to the second baseman off the bat of Bittner. Dave Rader hit by a pitch. Rudy Viola in to run for him, and the Cubs are able to tie it up as a result of that. 1 hit in the inning. 2 men left on. And at the end of 7, the Phillies come to bat. It is tied. 3-all. New battery for the Cubs now. Donnie Moore, the new pitcher, and Tim Blackwell, the new catcher. And in the 8th inning, Moore will be facing Mike Schmidt, Bob Boone, and Ted Sizemore. Let's hope that'll be all. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field, and tomorrow night we'll be talking to you from Olympic Stadium, where Ray Burris is scheduled to pitch for the Cubs against Scott Sanderson. Saturday evening it'll be Mike Fruco against Don Schatzeder. And Sunday afternoon, Rick Russell is a probable starter against Woody Fryman. Donnie Moore, 9-6 for the year. A new battery for the Cubs now. Donnie Moore, the new pitcher, and Tim Blackwell, the new catcher. And in the 8th inning, Moore will be facing Mike Schmidt, Bob Boone, and Ted Sizemore. Let's hope that'll be all. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field, and tomorrow night we'll be talking to you from Olympic Stadium, where Ray Burris is scheduled to pitch for the Cubs against Scott Sanderson. Saturday evening it'll be Mike Fruco against Don Schatzeder. And Sunday afternoon, Rick Russell is a probable starter against Woody Fryman. The other day as a starter. That was against the Expos, his only start this year. Rodman Reedy did a job coming in with the bases while he walked. Maddox intentionally loaded the bases with 1 out and got out of the jam, getting 2 tough hitters, Brzezinski and Hefner, to pop up to Manny Trio and leave 3 men on. First pitch to Schmidt, and the right-hander takes. Hits the ball. The windup, here's the delivery. Rising fastball is high, 2-0. Schmidt led off that 7th inning with a single. Came in on Tim McCarver's pinch hit single, right up the middle past Lamb. 2-0 delivery. Right-hander takes the ball low. Asking for trouble. There's just fight let Schmidt go after this. No strikes. De Jesus is way over in the hole and deep at shortstop. Wind up 3-0 delivery. He takes. It's a strike right at the knees. And look out for this one. For the wind up 3-1 pitch. Swung out. A good fastball. They took a cut at it, got under it, and fouled it back out of play, and the count goes to 3-2 on him. Been a workhorse out there this year. And in more ball games than any other Cup pitcher. This is his 64th. action in the Cub bullpen. Enter took too much time and spent, bothered by a little insect of some kind on his left leg. Called time, stepped out for a moment. Now he's back in. He's pretty close together. Wind up the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 high and inside. Or watch another baseball. So he has walked the leadoff man with the ball game tied in the 8th inning. Boone, the batter. Let's see how the Phillies are going to play it. Boone was robbed of a base hit by the Jesus. The one-handed grab of his hard-hit liner in that 7th inning. They did the damage before the Cubs got the 2nd and 3rd outs. To stretch the pitch, he's going to bunt. And he takes the ball inside of the knees. Bittner and Scott charging up the line, anticipating the sacrifice. The way he's fitting the side, they must have switched. They might have. If they do switch, they'll put a hit and run on. Throw to first, he's back safely. Bruce Sutter has now gotten up and started to throw in the Cub bullpen. Down at shadow down there. 1-0 to enemy. Runner goes. Hitting run swung on. A drive into right field. It's going to be in for a base hit. Red winds up going to 3rd. And you just knew they had changed the way he studied and studied and studied the next sign of Billy DeMars. I thought we might go for a pitch out there. And Boone with his first hit of the day. In a ball game that is tied. Really hurts the Cubs with that one. Mike Schmidt, who had walked, is now over at 3rd base. There's nobody out. Now, Ted Sizemore, the batter. And he's to be followed by the rookie, Lonnie Smith. Rodney Scott has gone over to say something to Moore. Andy Olson. Kept doing a little stall, getting on him. Gary Crawford, the second base umpire. Now Herman Franks is coming out. And Sutter continuing to throw in the bullpen with Freddie Martin, roving instructor, and the guy who taught him that slip-fingered fastball, standing there watching him as he has been most of the time on his home stand, and Sutter's going to come in. Flips the ball to Freddie. Johnny Moore faces 2 men in the 8th, a walk, and a single. Here comes Sutter in. The ball game tied at 3. Nobody out. While Bruce is warming up, let's take time out for this message. Against this Philadelphia ball club. As all of you know, things have not been right for him recently. Last 3 games he's been in, he has absorbed defeats. Gave up 2 runs Tuesday in 1 inning against Montreal, 1 run in 1 inning on Monday, 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning against Houston Saturday, 1 run last Friday against Houston. But he did get a save in that one. That's the ball game, the wild one, which the Cubs won 14-11. this situation. Runners at first and third and nobody out. Sizemore, the hitter. He swings. Gets under it. Lets a high fly ball. Greg Gross in medium depth in right center. Schmidt tags. Here's Gross's throw to the plate. Way off target. He scores. And on the throw, Boone goes to second. It is 4-3 Philadelphia. Sizemore taking a hefty cut. Gets his 17th run batted in of the year. A sacrifice fly. And on the throw, there was a high one over to the first base side of the plate. Boone had no trouble at all going to second base. The run, of course, is charged against Donnie Moore, and he's also responsible for Boone at second base. And here's little Lonnie Smith, the rookie right-hander. Looks like he weighs about 90 pounds soaking wet. They're going to ask for the appeal on Schmidt leaving third too soon, but it's denied by Doug Harvey. About once every decade, a team will win that kind of an appeal. Time is called, and now Scott wants to talk to Suter. Bruce's earned run average has been going up. After his last outing, it now stands at 2.97. For a long time, it was under 2 this year. Jerry Martin, or Lonnie Smith, the hitter, batting in the 9th spot as he came in as a pinch runner for McCarver and scored in that 7th inning. Bob Boone, lengthy lead at second. The first pitch of this kid is a ball. He takes, it's a strike, fastball. 1-1. Suter looks down, gets his sign, looks at Boone, delivers. And that's the slip-fingered forkball or fastball that breaks too low, and Smith lays off. Ball 2, strike 1. This is only Ronnie Smith's second trip to the plate for him since they brought him up to the minors. He looks at a ball, in too close at the letters. Ball 3, strike 1. Used to be when Bruce would come in from that bullpen, he just came charging out of there, bristling with confidence. 3-1 pitch. There's a strike right at the belt on the inside corner. Nothing longer. You see the uncertainty. Physically, he says there's nothing wrong. 1 out, runner at second, and a full count on the rookie. Here's the pitch. He lays off, and that one breaks into the dirt for ball 4. And Lonnie Smith, Lou, was instructed well.
Yeah, see, he looks like he could be quite a ball player. I know the Phillies really like him quite well, and most of these scouts here, as mentioned, Smith, with high regards.
A little Streetzer at first. Boone better be careful. He'll run him down if they start to race around the bases. Gary Martin came in as a pinch hitter. Got a run batted in on a fielder's choice in the 7th. Brought in the man from 3rd. He swings. Chops one down to Scott. Steps on the back of 3rd. Throws to Bittner. Double play to retire the side. But they have taken the lead. In the 8th inning, stemming from a walk to the first man up, Mike Smith. He tallied. 1 hit, a single, a sacrifice fly, another walk. Double play, 1 man left on. Well, the Cubs were down 3-2 at the end of 6 1/2, and now at the end of 7 1/2, they are down 4-3. stepping into the batter's box to lead off this 8th inning. That could tie up this ball game in a hurry. Dave Kingman, facing Warren Brewster for the first time. He against Christensen, struck out twice, tried to reach in the bunt, bunted it into his own body in fair territory, and he was out. He takes a swing and a miss for strike one, leading off the 8th. Single in yesterday's game. 1 for 7 in the series. Come on, big guy. Brewster winds. Throws one into the dirt in front of the plate. Came over the top of it, tried to get too much on it. Connie Smith, the 22-year-old left fielder, born here in Chicago, makes his home out in Compton, California. Ball one, strike one, the count on Dave Kingman. Wind up the pitch. Takes a breaking ball low. Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago, 15 seconds after 4.
Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field. The wind-up 2-1 pitch. Couldn't get the bat out of the way. Ball hit it. Or did not. He missed it. Went into the dirt, came back foul. Checked his swing, and thought for a moment about to hit his bat, but it broke into the dirt. So the count goes to 3-1. Brewster delivers. There's the swing. He hits one off the end of the bat. Below the shortstop in into his left. He's got it, and Kingman is out by about 6 steps.
Vince, I want to make a comment. I think Kingman is playing hurt. His swing seems like every time he misses the ball, either his shoulder is bothering him or his arm. I don't know which, and I'm just speculating because we weren't told this. But to me, every time he has swung today, he's swinging in pain. So I don't know, but that's just my observation from seeing him this year swing that bat.
A couple of times today, he took some vicious rips. One time went down to his knee, one time to his knee again, the other knee.
Well, I thought he was in pain when he went down to his knee.
Yeah. Mercer, the hitter, takes the ball. Brewster delivers, and that's a ball, a little low. Mercer singled on a 3-1 pitch in the 4th inning and scored when Trio got a 2-run single on a 3-1 delivery. And Boone has gone out to talk to the bearded Brewster. Warren, 26 years of age, born out in Oakland, California. Makes his home just outside of there at Napa, California, the wine country. Delivers a fastball, and the big right-hander catches a strike zone at the letters. Ball 2, strike 1. 6'3". Listing at 200. He looks about 210, 215. 2-1 delivery. Mercer swings, and he lined it right into the glove of Mike Schmidt just off the dirt at third base. Liner the opposite side, and fairly off the dirt. Single in the 4th inning to give the Cubs a lead. But they have it no longer. Ozark is motioning the rookie, Lonnie Smith, born here in Chicago, deeper in left field. Brewster delivers, throws one into the dirt, ball 1. There's a windup, and another ball that's too low, 2-0. Number 4 selection in the January draft of 1974. Eddie Bachman was the talent scout who got him. 2-0 pitch. Swung down, one hopper, right into the glove of Brewster. In the 8th, the Cubs go down. 1-2-3, don't get a ball out of the infield. At the end of 8 full innings of play. Final game of this homestand, the Phillies lead 4-3.
This
is the story of Teddy the Tire Buyer.
Hi, I'm Teddy. I needed a tire for my green Buick, and I went to SM Duxler for Michelin X Radio.
SM Duxler, with 4 convenient locations and a reputation of over 50 years of professional tire service to Chicagoland. When Teddy the Tire Buyer got there, he said,
I want to make the move to Michelin with Michelin X radios for my green Buick. Move on, man.
if you're like Teddy the Tire Buyer, you'll find the Michelin X radios for your car at any of SM Duxler's locations.
Now that I have Michelin's for my green Buick, are Michelin's good for my motorhome?
Oh, absolutely. Your motorhome or camper was designed to take the tough roads in stride, and SM Duxler has steel-belted radios engineered for your kind of driving. Why, you going camping?
Nope.
Well, why did you ask?
Just testing.
Stop testing tire dealers and get to SM Duxler. Check their prices on Michelin tires. They sell to you for less. Find out why Teddy the Tire Buyer says,
I like SM Duxler. They put Michelin's on my green Buick.
SM Duxler, Evanston, Libertyville, Irving Park Road, Chicago, and Cherville, Indiana.
Suter came on in relief in the 8th inning. Yielded a sacrifice fly up the middle of Sizemore. And walked Lonnie Smith. And got Jerry Martin hit into a double play that retired the side. With Larry Ball batting left-handed, and he deposits a foul ball into the seats on the third base side. That's one customer happy, getting the souvenir. Unhappy homestand so far. Here's a swing, and he gets under it, lets another lazy foul fly out of play. Boa doubled in a run in the 7th inning. That's when they came from a 2-0 deficit to take a 3-2 lead. Looks down, gets his sign from Blackwell to pitch. Goes he's batted, a bouncing ball, trio charging into the grass, gets it, throws, and Bo is out of there. Good play. 1 out in the 9th inning, and Gary Maddox will be the hitter. Was walked intentionally in the 7th inning to load him up. That's when Len McLaughlin came on, and Len did a super job because he got Luzinski and Hebner to pop up the Manny trio and leave the bases loaded. Then a leadoff walk by Donnie Moore to Mike Schmidt, leading off the 8th. And eventually that blossomed into their 4th run. And they're leading here 4-3. Lined up in the pitch. Swung on and a drive down the left field line and could go for extra bases. Kingman chasing it down at the corner, plays a carom shot, and it's a stand-up double off the bat of Gary Maddox. With 1 out, they've got a man in scoring position. Maddox, that is his 28th double of the year. Brewster is due to bat. And Jose Cardinal is going to pinch hit. He was here leading the chorus in the bleachers early yesterday before the game. Jose hitting .260 with the Phillies this year. 4 homers, 32 runs batted in. He's going to take plenty of time before he makes his way into the batter's box. 9th inning. And Philadelphia carrying a 4-3 lead. Jose against the Cubs this year. 9 hits, a 206. I'm sorry, 7 hits, a 206 batting average. But with 7 hits, he has batted in 9 runs against Cub pitching this year. He's made them count. He's still taking plenty of time.
To me, this man made a great gesture as I was interviewing Kessinger on TV. Just 30 seconds before we went on the air, this man left that dugout over at first base, came all the way across and congratulated Kessinger on his night tomorrow night. Kessinger really appreciated that.
Yeah, let's
pretty good of it. I know he was very busy hobnobbing with a lot of the Cubs yesterday before the game and also today. So I'm in deep conversation. I think it was DeJesus out in left field. Vicious swing on the first pitch. Just popped out of the middle. Blackwell retrieved it in a hurry. In a strike one count. Little Junior. They have out-hit the Cubs 8-5. Hitter's next pitch, he takes the strike. There was a breaking ball up around the letters. Caught the inside corner on it. Very important run at second base. They already lead 1-0. Can't afford to give them any more. Shooter into the stretch. Here's the delivery. Cardinal swings, rips a foul. Goes down the third base side. Retrieved by Manny Cione in the bullpen. Jim Blackwell is due to lead off the ninth inning for the Cubs. And DeJesus then will have a pinch hitter, maybe a couple of them before that. But it's the bottom third in the Cub batting order in the ninth. Cubs left 2 men on in the sixth inning, left 2 men on in the seventh when they scored a run to tie it. In that case, the man who scored was hit by a pitch thrown by Brewster. 0-2 delivery. Jose takes it, just misses at the knees. Ball 1, strike 2. Rodney Scott guarding the line deep at third. DeJesus well over into the hole at shortstop. Now he retreats a little bit and takes one more step to his left. His pitch, the runner at second goes. He takes Blackwell's throw. He's too late. McBride is in at third. Maddox, I'm sorry. That for Gary Maddox is 32nd stolen base this year. Been caught 6 times. Pitch was up and away to Cardinal. Blackwell couldn't get it down there in time. Now that changes the defensive strategy with a man at third and a count of 2-2. The infield will come in. Shooter from the stretch, Cardinal swings and misses. He got him, and that is the kind of pitch of which Shooter one time this year struck out 4 out of 5 Phillies in relief. That one exploded. Let's see if he can leave Maddox stranded here in the ninth. Blackwell going out. Look off the Shooter. The always dangerous Ricky Hebner. An unpredictable guy on and off the field. But he says hitting is a very simple thing. You just look for a baseball. He swings at the first one, hits it down to Hefner, and it goes right off his glove behind him into right field. Hefner going into second, a run scores. The throw too late. Oh, man. That should have retired the side. The man should have been left stranded. And Hefner came up empty. I tell you, we have made more costly mistakes on this homestand. That ball went right under his glove, but it was hugging the dirt. He just got his glove up too quickly. Should have been an easy out. Well, they are now leading 5-3. That takes a hard idea. Faces Mike Schmidt with a man at second base. Suddenly the defense has fallen apart just when they needed it the most. Not just on that play. Now we're ready. Here's a pitch. Schmidt standing in shadow, and he takes the ball a little bit low.
off the 8th inning, drawing a walk off Donnie Moore, and scored to give them a 4-3 lead. Takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 1-1. Man, oh man. Loss here leaves the Cubs with their 5th straight loss on this homestand. And they will have dropped, there's a swing and a miss. They will have dropped 15 out of their last 23 ball games. Opening this homestand, you figured they had a pretty good run at it. Because here is where they have done their best work all year long, right here at Wrigley Field. But not on this one. Started off well against Houston. Took 3 out of 4. And were swept by Montreal. And in danger of being swept in this 2-game series by the Phillies. Now we're ready. Here's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Didn't have a good cut at it. Side is retired. A deep run for the Phillies. 1 hit, stolen base, and an error with 2 out. Permits the run to score. 1 man left on. Well, let's see if they can come up with a miracle. Bottom of the 9th inning. First pitch to pinch hitter Mike Vail. He takes a swing, and he fouls it out of the mid of Bob Boone. Strike 1 count in the 9th inning. Vail batting for Blackwell. Wind up by Reed. Goes a curve. Looks up out of the bed, and he's way out in front, gets under it, and fouls it back out of play. Vail with the Cubs, 35 hits, a 307 batting average. Yesterday was hitless in 4 trips. 2 homers, driven in 21 runs. 0-2 delivery. Fastball just missed away. The Cubs have not played well on this homestand, to say the least. Not in the last 2 series, anyway. 1-2 delivery. Fastball swung on a miss. Vail strikes out to open up the 9th. And De Jesus will bat for himself. Reed just poured one by him. Ivan hit one deep to Basinski in the 5th inning. Struck out of the 3rd. Sacrificed in the 7th. And the Cubs came up with a run to tie the ball game at 3. The Cubs with only 5 hits for the day. Wind up the pitch. Fastball. It's in there. It was here at Wrigley Field earlier this year that Reed been very upset. He takes a strike. When his skipper, Danny Ozark, took him out of the ball game when he was working in relief, had a chance for a save. Didn't get it. McGraw came on and got it. Fastball. He has to spin out of the way. 1 strike 2. In the on-deck circle, battling Bill Buckner. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball, gets by Smith. Gets off his glove on his left side, goes out to left field. And Lottie Smith comes in and retrieves it. That'll be a single for the Jesus. And Bill Buckner is going to get quite a hand when he's announced as a pinch hitter. For the last time this year. They are giving Buckner a standing ovation. Old friend Tom Patorek here in town with the Seattle Mariners, who are playing the Sox tonight at Sox Park. Came into the clubhouse to visit with him for a while today. Buck hitting .315 for the year. Driven in 58 runs, second only to Dickey on the club. Swings, ground ball. Ball backs up, he has it. Goes to second. Buckner cannot run. He is merrily jogging down the line. It's a double play, and the Phillies have swept the series. He had to get the ball to the outfield to have a chance to reach. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody left on. Phillies 5, the Cubs 3.
True Value Hardware stores can help you with hundreds of jobs around your home for just a few pennies. With a 60-yard roll of Chuck masking tape for just 39 cents. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest you use it to protect surfaces when you paint, or to seal boxes, or with hobbies, crafts, and more. Get a 60-yard roll of 3/4-inch Chuck masking tape for just 39 cents. And to make many permanent household repairs, True Value Hardware stores suggest you get GE silicone sealants. They apply easily, remain waterproof, and are flexible enough to withstand temperature extremes. So they're ideal for bathroom, basement, or outdoor repairs. And right now, you can get a 3-ounce tube of GE bathtub seal for just $1.99 at participating True Value Hardware stores. Tell them Pat Summerall sent you.
Unhappy total. Phillies 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, left dead. And the Cubs 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, left 6. Lauren Brewster, 2 innings of relief work. It's a victory, 5 and 3. Ron Reed a save, his 12th. Donnie Moore came out of relief, suffers a loss. He's 9 and 7. 2 hours and 41 minutes. Nice to say from here on, Lou, the Cubs are really going to have to give themselves a shot in the arm to get themselves out of the doldrums and see if they at least can play a bit of the spoilers role, if nothing else, but finish up this season on a high note, I hope.
Well, I do too. I'm not going to give up until we're mathematically out. One never knows what will happen. This is our 140th game. We have 22 left. Things, of course, aren't looking very bright, but nevertheless, they're not shut out entirely. So if we could just get a break along the line, the best thing about this ball game, to me, was that I think Studer is back in stride. And let's hope that tomorrow night we can take on the Montreal Expos. And let's win 3 over there. We've had a tough time over there all year.
Seems like we've been having a tough time out of town everywhere, except perhaps down at St. Louis. And the homestand winds up with the Cubs suffering their 5th straight loss. They've now dropped 9 out of their last 12. So they dropped to 2 games below the 500 mark and are a game and a half, or I'm sorry, they are 7 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies. And at this point, they are just 2 games in front of the 4th place Montreal Expos. Only 2 games in front of them, as Montreal, of course, plays tonight. Well, enough of that singing the blues. We want to thank you very much for being with us. Our producer, Jack Minovich. Ed Archibald, our engineer. And I hope you'll join us from Montreal tomorrow evening when we'll be on the air in Chicago at 6:15, also on Saturday night, and then a final game of the series with the Expos on Sunday afternoon. I'm Vince Lloyd, and our broadcast today has been brought to us by the G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, the makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country. The Association of Chicagoland McDonald's Restaurant. Your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers. Find out how the gallant men of old can make car buying a pleasure for you. General Finance's 70s Chicagoland offices. To borrow up to $10,000, call friendly Bob Adams at Andover 32020. And by True Value Hardware stores, not just a name, it's their way of doing business, True Value. Sad way to end that homestand. Let me tell you it's sad. I'll have the scoreboard coming your way in just a few moments. And tomorrow evening at Montreal, Scott Sanderson, who made his debut here against the Cubs. He comes from Northbrook. He is the scheduled starting pitcher, tall young right-hander. Slated to go for the Expos against the Cubs, Ray Burris. And let's hope we'll have a victory to report for you from Olympic Stadium in Montreal. For the Cubs with this loss today, go 2 games below the 500 mark, and the battle now is to avoid being caught in pass by the Montreal Expos. This is the WTN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WTN Radio, Chicago. It's rare, but it's beautiful when it happens. You can probably count on one hand the number of times it's happened to you. You find exactly what you've always looked for in a pair of shoes. They're smart-looking and incredibly comfortable. They're Freeman Free Flex shoes, now at O'Connor and Goldberg. As soon as you slip your feet into a pair, you'll notice the difference. Enjoy the easy comfort of the soft all-leather lining and suede leather outsole. Luxuriant and premium calfskin. Freeman pampers your feet with only the finest quality leather. They're so supple, they don't need to be broken in. You can actually take a brand new Free Flex shoe right out of the box and press the toe down in the shell of a raw egg. The sole bends, but the egg won't break. It's hard to believe shoes this comfortable can make your feet look so good. OG has Freeman Free Flex shoes in brown or black from $55.98. Stop in at O'Connor and Goldberg soon and try on a pair of Free Flex shoes by Freeman. You won't want to take them off.
Hi, everybody. Vince Lloyd back with you here at Wrigley Field. And a crowd today of just 11,427. Unhappy with the plight of the Cubs. Get swept by the Montreal Expos, and now we're swept in the two-game series by the Phillies. Our scoreboard brought to us by the 26 Chicagoland Seabart dealers. Well, today, the Cubs at least had the lead for a while. They got out in front of this ball game in the fourth inning off Larry Christensen, who had struck out 5 Cubs in the first 3 innings, 2 in the first inning, 2 in the second, had not given up a base hit through the first 3. And then, after retiring Rodney Scott to lead off the fourth, Larry Bittner jumped a little Texas leaguer down the left field line for a double. Dave Kingman attempted to bunt, and he was out as he ran into his own bunted ball in fair territory. There were 2 away. But Christensen got behind him, Bobby Mercer, and Mercer kept the inning alive with a single into right field, sending Bittner to third. Manny Trio, on a 3-1 pitch, singled into center field, and the Cubs had themselves a 2-1 lead. And Dennis Lamp, who was pitching superbly, held on to it. He had given up an infield single in the second, had given up a 2-out single in the third inning, had not given up a hit in the fourth, fifth, or sixth inning, was still nursing that 2-0 lead. And then in the seventh inning, the Phillies got something started when Mike Schmidt got himself a single. Bob Boone looked like he was going to have a hit, but Ivan DeJesus soared high and to his right towards third base, made a fine one-handed grab of that hard-hit liner. Schmidt alertly got back to first base. There was no double play, but there was one out, a fine play. But Sizemore got himself a single. Schmidt stopping at second base. Tim McCarver came off the bench as a pinch hitter, hit a sharp single. It barely got by Dennis Lamp, went right over the bag at second base into center field, driving in a run. And then the young man born in Chicago, rookie Lonnie Smith, came in to run for McCarver. And Willie Hernandez came in as a relief pitcher for Dennis Lamp. Gary Martin then came out as a pinch hitter. And Martin reached. He hit a ground ball to Rodney Scott at third. Sizemore, alert, breaking with it, came into the plate. The throw from Scott to Rader a little bit high and too late. That tied up the ball game at 2-2. And then Larry Boa hit a double almost to the wall in left field, driving in the go-ahead run. The Cubs came back, however, to tie it up, and I'll be back with a recap on that action right after this.
Talk about getting a new car today, and you'll hear quite a bit about the need for rust-proofing. You'll also hear quite a bit about positive protection from Z-Bart. That's why more and more new car dealers are sending their customers to Z-Bart. They want to give them the best rust protection there is. And these car dealers know that only Z-Bart can deliver positive protection. No one else has the amazing Z-Bart rust-proofing sealant that actually penetrates welded seams. No one else can use the patented Z-Bart spray tools to get into hidden areas where rust can start. And no one else can offer the kind of know-how that comes from the complete training that Z-Bart provides its dealers. Don't let anyone else rust-proof your car. Make sure it goes to your Z-Bart dealer. He's America's largest and most experienced rust protection specialist. And he's the only one who can give you positive protection. Z-Bart. It's us or rust.
Z-Bart is listed in the Yellow Pages under automobile undercoating and rust proofing. I want to remind you that this is WGN Radio Chicago. Warren Brewster was the new pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies in the bottom of the seventh inning. Dave Rader was hit by a pitch, hit in the leg. So he was awarded first base, and Rudy Mioli came off the bench to run for him at first base. Ivan DeJesus got him into scoring position with a fine sacrifice. He got over to third base on Scott Thompson's ground ball to the second baseman. There were 2 out. Greg Gross then drew a base on balls, and that brought to bat Rodney Scott. Down ground ball, back up the middle, base hit. Just eluded Brewster. Mioli scores, tying run, 3-3. But the Phillies regained the lead in the 8th inning. Reliever Donnie Moore walked the first man he faced, Mike Schmidt. That spelled trouble, and trouble it was. Bob Boone then drilled a single into right field, Schmidt taking third. Bruce Sutter came on in relief for the Cubs with runners at first and third, nobody out. Get Sizemore, the hitter. He swings, gets under it, lets a high fly ball. Greg Gross in medium depth in right center. Schmidt tags. Here's Gross's throw to the plate, way off target. He scores, and on the throw, Boone goes to second. It is 4-3 Philadelphia. That was to be all their scoring in the 8th inning, as Jerry Martin hit into a double play. In the 9th inning, they picked up an unearned run with a man at third and 2 out. Hebner's ground ball got right under the glove of Larry Bittner, and instead of retiring the side, it permitted a run to score, and it made the final count, the Phillies 5 and the Cubs 3. So the Cubs depart for Montreal, New York, and Philadelphia on their final Eastern swing of the year, and they'll be taking on the Montreal Expos tomorrow night at the first of a 3-game series, and they are in danger of dropping into 4th place, because at the moment they lead Montreal by just 2 games in the Eastern Division race. The loss drops the Cubs 7 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Phillies are assured of remaining in first place as they open up a home stand with a twilight doubleheader at home tomorrow night. The red-hot Pittsburgh Pirates, who have won 11 in a row and 21 out of 23. Tonight are at St. Louis again. They'll shoot for win number 12 in succession. They have Bruce Keeson scheduled to go against Pete Falcone. The Giants are at Atlanta. They have Vida Blue going against the Braves' Preston Hanna. Cincinnati is hosting San Diego tonight. And the Dodgers, who now carry a 3-game lead over the Giants, play at Houston with Bert Hooton shooting for his 17th win of the year, going to the Dodgers against Mark Lemongello. And the New York Mets play up at Montreal tonight, with the rookies scheduled to go with the Montreal Expos in that ball game. That'll be Bob James for them against Nino Espinosa. The White Sox are back in town, and tonight at Sox Park, they entertain the Seattle Mariners. I'll have more after this. Here we are in sunny Los Angeles.
It's 2 a.m., Herb. How do we get to our hotel? I'm hungry, Daddy.
Sir, pardon me. Where can we catch a bus to? A bus? A bus?
I'm tired, Daddy.
A taxi. A taxi. How much to the Ritz Motel?
30 buckaroos, pal.
And do you